Hello, everyone. Thank you for being there, and welcome to our Meet the Watch Q&A Part 2. Um, as most of you probably know, we wanted to do that Q&A to thank you, all of you who have subscribed to the channel. We decided to do that after we got 500 subscribers. Now we're really, really close to 600, which is really, really exciting. And so again, a big thank you for subscribing to our channel. A big thank you for being there. A big thank you for all the great questions. I've watched part 1. It was amazing. I hope we get really, really good questions for part 2 also. So for part 2, the Hypeswatch member will be myself, SweetYFT, and those wonderful people. So James, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. James Michelle. Glad to be here. Glad to be taking your questions. Remember, ask us anything, not just Game of Thrones, anything. But yeah, happy to be here with everybody.
Yes, Nicolina. Okay.
Hi everyone, buongiorno from Italy. For those of you who don't know, me and Anne had to wake up at 6 in the morning to do this, so it's really early, and we put our makeup on and let's go with the questions.
JD.
What's up, everybody? I'm JD. Thanks for having me. Thanks for getting us out here to the Q&A. Appreciate it. It's good to have the loyal fans that we got. So let's get this started.
Yes, you guys are amazing. And LT is at work right now, but he will be joining us as soon as he can. So we're waiting for, I mean, we're not waiting for LT to start, but LT will be joining us soon. And again, as James has said, the whole idea of this video is for you to get to know us a little bit better. So we will prioritize. The idea is not Game of Thrones question in this chat. So it's more personal questions, things about our lives. So those are the questions we will answer first. But just a quick reminder, as you might know, in every single one of our video, there's a lengthy description box. In this description box, there's a link to all of the social medias where you can reach us. Like, you can ask us questions even when we're not on camera. Like, we're here, we'll write back, we'll answer your questions, and we might even do later a compilation video of the best questions, so you can ask us Game of Thrones questions anytime. Remember that we'll answer them. And today, the king of the questions and the moderator for that video will be James Bushell and his amazing voice. So if you want to get started.
Yeah, and we had some questions left from a previous video that we did, the shout video. So we're gonna take those questions first. And ironically, the first one was asked to me specifically from Silver Imp. And the question is, James comes across as very polite. How did he get / develop this trait? Does he use it specifically at his job? I don't know. I just felt like I just feel like being nice is better than being mean. So I've always tried to be nice. And does it help with my specific job? Currently, I'm a full-time student, but I was before that a military contractor for 10 years. And yeah, I felt like being a supply technician for the military, that being nice went a long way. So yeah, we got that question out of the way first, and now we're gonna go ask questions of the rest of the panel. And this is from Tadpole, and the question is, what is your favorite time of year, and why? So we'll start with Nico on this one first.
Depends where I live.
We'll go with where you're at now.
Oh, I'm in Veneto, in north of Italy, next to Venice, and it's really hot, but I love it. Hot and humid, and it's good for the skin, so I don't mind. I mean, the humidity. I prefer warm places, but I like to go, to mountains to ski when it's snowing. So, yeah, but definitely warm weather.
Cool, cool. JD.
All right, my favorite time of the year. That's rough because, I grew up in the mountains of Colorado. So we have something to do every time of the year. I mean, springtime, you're going on drives trying to bust snowbanks to see how far you can get up in the mountains and playing in the mud. Summertime, you're going camping, fishing, hiking. Fall time, I was raised a hunter, so I go hunting, play in the mud some more. Wintertime, we go snowmobiling. So, I mean, for me, I'm going to have to say I like every time of the year. I enjoy it all because I have something to do every time of the year.
Alrighty, Anne?
I would guess for me it would be the summer. I would love to see spring, but we don't really have a spring in Paris. It's just continuation of winter and rainy all the time. So summer. I like summer. I like the heat. That's actually one of the favorite thing I like when I live in Japan. A long summer.
For me personally, living in Kansas, I have 100-degree summers with 90% humidity. I have blizzards in the winter. In the spring, I have tornadoes and hailstorms. So that the only reprieve I have is fall, where it's a nice 60 degrees and sometimes 40, 50. But hey, that's my favorite time of the year here in Kansas. So yeah, we have 3 questions from Thunderclap. The first one is, what is your dream job? And we will start with JD.
My dream job, all right, my dream job. If I could open up a shop to where I could be a full-time fabricator welder, that would be my dream job. I like building. I like being able to draw blueprints up for people to give me ideas of what they want. So that would be my dream job, truthfully, to work out of my own home, have a shop that I have literally, 50 yards away from my house where I could walk in there every morning and just build stuff for people. That would be my dream job.
Commendable, commendable. Anne.
Tough one. I actually have 2 jobs. I really like my jobs, but I've never had a dream job. Like when I was a little girl, what I want to do was being a character in a novel, which is not a job. That does not happen in real life. But yeah, I would like to be a character in a novel.
Okay, that's very interesting. But hey, I like it.
Okay, that's the best.
Um,
That's the best I can do.
for me, I always wanted to be, I love Game of Thrones, but there's something I do love more than Game of Thrones, and that's sports. And I always wanted to be a professional sports commentator, um, but things didn't fall the way I wanted it to, so I'm not on that route. But that would be my dream job. Currently, I'm on my way to becoming an accountant. Yeah, it's very fun. But but Nico, what is your dream job?
Being rich, I don't know. I love the ends. I love it, the character from the novel, so I guess it means like have really interesting life and adventures. Obviously, I want to be a full-time scientist, and that's what I'm working on. But is it a dream job if I get paid for it well and I get to do um, parts of science that I really like and enjoy? So basically some lab work probably, but I don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes I think I would like to be either professional cleaner because I do it so much and I really enjoy it for some reason. Or don't laugh, it's true. And no, but all joking aside, something with skincare industry, I would love to test all the lotions and pomades because I find it really enjoyable, and I think Anne really would like that too. I mean, every girl likes that, so that's it. But yeah, scientist, obviously.
Yeah, no, you know what? I would not like that. Weirdly enough.
No?
Sorry, I shocked you.
That's very cool indeed. Thunderclap question number 2 is, where you most want to travel to but have never been. And we're starting with Anne on this one.
Okay, I would have to say Argentina because I would love to see Buenos Aires, and I would love to see also like the south that is like almost like that gets really really cold with the crazy wildlife. Like I think a trek there would be amazing. So that would be like like the furthest away like dream place where I would like to go.
I know my answer would be boring for two of you, but having been through Asia, been through North America, my answer, I've never been to Europe. So I guess my answer would be, I don't know. I'd like to see, I've heard Berlin is a very cool place. Now maybe Berlin would be the place I'd want to go to. Somewhere in Europe. I've never been to Europe. So, Nico, what would be your dream destination?
Oh, well, I never been to France actually, so Paris, obviously.
Well, no one said Paris before. I was so mad. Like I'm like, you know what's gonna say Paris? No one's really.
Obviously France. Never been to France. But JD, I've been to Berlin like this winter. Yeah. And yeah, you should go see it. It's really gorgeous.
Definitely want to.
Yeah, but, like, when you
JD.
go, sorry, can I just say, like, if you have time and opportunity and money, if you go to one country, don't just go for the, capital or the most famous city. Like in Germany, you can go to Leipzig or Dresden. It's really, really, really good cities, and like there's stuff to see there, not just Berlin or Frankfurt or something. Yeah, Munich is really nice.
Yeah, that's definitely good advice, and I would definitely want to travel throughout the whole country. Um, JD, what would be your dream destination?
All right, my dream destination. Well, I'm gonna have to go from where my family is from. The first place I go is to Ireland. That's the very first place I want to go to is Ireland. Second after that, I want to go to Italy because that's the other side of my family. Um, and then, truthfully, I would love to go to Canada. That's another place I'd like to go. So my three spots: Ireland, Italy, Canada.
Very cool.
James, can you
Okay.
pull an LT and ask a question that is totally not in the
Sure.
list? Okay, it's just because I was seeing JD's awesome tattoo, and so I wanted to know if you guys had tattoos and what they were and where they were and why you had them.
Well, ironically, Anne, the next question was going to be for if you can ask the people on the panel any question, what would it be? So I'm guessing this would be your question you're going to ask. I don't have any tattoos. There. I don't know if Nico and I know JD has some. If they want to expound upon what they have.
All right, I'll go. I got four. I got Celtic knot across here, another one here on my forearm. I got a Celtic knotted cloverleaf on my chest, and then I got a Trinity on my rib cage, all on the right side.
And do you have tattoos?
Yeah, well, I think.
Oh yeah, you have the star. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, I have 1, 2, 3, 9 stars total, and they're pretty much supposed to be the drawing of I'm a Gemini, so like the Gemini constellation that's supposed to represent it. I can't really show you the tattoos on my back. That's not gonna work in that camera setup. I'm just gonna end up naked, and then we're gonna have to stop the video, and that's not gonna be good. But yeah, I got 7 other stars on my back.
I have, wait, 5 tattoos. This is the first one I did, and it's a Cyrillic letter in Cyrillic it's the first letter of my husband's name. And I did it, I don't know how many years ago, a long time ago. I have these, which you probably saw. These are Egyptian, right, hieroglyphs. And it's gods, like it's cartouche. So this is one god, this is the other, and this is the third one. I can, like, do you want me to explain what they mean?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of cheesy, but I don't care. I mean, it's tattoos. So the first one is Aten, which was the god of sun and birth or whatever. And this is Set, so it's the god of destruction, so kind of duality. But I chose it because I like the way it looks. This one is Thoth, is the god of, can you see it well? Is the god of sense, speech, math, and astronomy. Which is really cool. I have one on my back. I don't know if you can see it. It's not that low. Uh,
Mm-mm. Yeah, we can.
it's a Viking symbol, and I have one on my foot. And that one hurts really bad.
I want to get one on my foot. Like I'm
Really.
probably gonna do that summer. Not the sole of my foot, but like on the top of my foot. Does that hurt really bad on the foot?
Yeah. It's not just the pain. The problem is that you need to have more people to sit on your leg because you have reflexes, you know, and you don't want to twitch while somebody's doing a tattoo. So it was a job for many people, but I don't know. And it fades, obviously, because it's on the sole of your foot. But I don't know. I wanted to do it, and it's really cool. And those are symbols like spades, diamonds from the card because of the cards. Because my dad is a pro player, so I don't know. I always like to play cards.
Well,
So
I guess I'm the loser with no tats. I'm the only one that doesn't have one. Um,
Well, it's not too late. Like I got my first tattoo when I was what 35? No, 30. Well, yeah. So there, it's never too late to get tattoos.
um, yeah. So, Nico, what would be your question you would want to ask the panel?
well, I have one for Anne, but I'm gonna think about. Anne, what kind of cigarettes, brand of cigarettes do you smoke?
Okay, I smoke Marlboro Lights, but I'm really not loyal to a brand of cigarettes at all. It's just like the first name that's horrible to say that comes into my mind. But as long as it has nicotine, I will smoke it.
For what it's worth, I used to smoke Camel Lights, but I quit smoking 2 years ago. Um, JD,
JD,
you have a question? Or
right?
yeah, JD smokes.
Oh yeah. So what type of brand do you smoke?
When I do smoke cigarettes, I smoke Camel Lights.
I will answer that. I usually smoke Pall Malls. Depends on which country I live in, so I have to check the label, but it's either gray or blue, like Azzurro or something like that. Or now in Italy they changed it. There's no Pall Mall anymore, so I smoke Rothman's Blue.
I used to smoke Pall Malls. I enjoyed them. Um, JD, what will be your question you want to ask?
Oh, JD, come on, ask us a question. Come on, stop being rogue.
I don't. I don't have one. I'm sorry, I don't.
I'll ask one. I'll ask one. What do you think is the best TV show you've watched in the last 2 years? And you're unmuted, so you can go first.
Okay, yeah, I'm always unmuted. I think my answer would be probably Fargo. I mean, it's when did True Detective come out? Was that older than that?
That was like 3 years ago.
Okay, so there would have to be Fargo season one. I've not watched season two yet. I have the Blu-ray. I'm just waiting to be on vacation and to have all the time to binge watch that.
Well,
But otherwise, I
spoiler
think
alert.
True Detective season two, I liked a little bit. Season one, I liked it a little bit more than Fargo, but
Well, spoiler alert. In my opinion, Fargo season 2 is better than season 1 by a skosh, by a little bit. JD, what's your answer?
2 years ago, favorite show. Well, I didn't have cable 2 years ago, and that's when Daredevil and Jessica Jones popped out. So I really can't choose between those two. So I'm gonna have to go with both of them.
Nico?
Sorry, can JD repeat what did you say?
Uh, Daredevil and
Oh.
Jessica Jones.
In the last 2 years that I really enjoyed are Rick and Morty and BoJack Horseman. It's amazing. Rick and Morty is. I saw that people were commenting about that before we started live, and funny enough, my tagline today is "Let's get swifty," which is from the show. BoJack Horseman and the season 2 or 3, sorry, is just out now, and I recommend you watch it because it's glorious. It's I don't know, it makes me feel so depressing, but in a good way. But that's not my favorite shows, obviously. So can you guys answer what are your favorite shows ever? I haven't watched Fargo, by the way. So my favorite shows, I will just answer so you can say. Favorite shows of all times are Twin Peaks and Riet, or The Kingdom Last Frontiers show.
Just my answer for the last 2 years is Fargo. And for best shows ever, Fargo's up there. I mean, it's great. True Detective season 1 is one of the greatest seasons of television I've ever seen. But I also have to go with MASH. I watched that as a kid with my dad, and I think it's a phenomenal show that blends drama and comedy and talks about the rigors of war. I love MASH. I think it's a very good show. JD, what's your favorite show of all time? Shows of all time.
Oh, favorite shows of all time? Alright. Well, the first one I'm going to have to give it to is Sons of Anarchy. I thought the storyline was really good. The way they portrayed Jax, it was a phenomenal story to watch unfold. It was great. The second one, that one's kind of rough. I'm going to have to give it to the first 5 seasons of Dexter. First six seasons of Dexter. I enjoyed Dexter phenomenally for the first 6 seasons. After that, it kind of got cheesy, but I love Dexter. I love his mentality and how he went at things. So those are my top 2. Let's put it that way, and I'll leave it at that.
And
Sorry, I had to. So the question is my favorite TV show
favorite
ever.
shows. Yeah.
Okay. It's lame, but the TV show I remember enjoying the most, and that's really gonna bring my hype level down. But I think it was Ally McBeal. Like I was so hooked on that show. First, I'm not a big TV show person as those guys are. But second, I usually prefer comedy to drama. I get bored with like drama TV show. But yeah, that's lame. But I think my favorite TV show was Ally McBeal.
Why do you say lame? You don't have to, you know.
Because you guys are quoting like hype and cool TV shows, and Ally McBeal is not hype or cool.
No, but if I watch cool TV shows, doesn't mean I'm cool. So you know.
But I mean, like this season, have you any of you watched Ally McBeal ever?
I have not.
No, but I watch Real Housewives. God damn it.
Well, so if anyone in the chat has watched Ally McBeal, I can't remember which season it was, but oh my God, the season with Ally McBeal and Robert Downey Jr. I mean, like, if there's one OTP for me, like, still to that day, it's that fucking couple, and ooh, I think when he had to leave because he had to like take care of his daughter or something, like I think I cried for days because that was so heartbreaking. And yes.
Oh yeah, I won't criticize anyone for whatever show they want to watch. It's their personal decision. But yeah, okay. So we'll move on. We'll go back to the questions here from Catherine Cronin. If you could ask George R. R. Martin only one question, what would it be? And we'll start with Nico on this one.
When's the winter coming out, George? I don't know. I'm gonna ask him. I would not like to meet him. I would prefer to meet David Benioff and vice versa, actually, because I don't know what to ask George Martin, because he's really careful with answering, and he can be a bit, like, oh, don't ask me this, so I wouldn't be bothered. So honestly, you want me to answer honestly, so that's it. I'd like to prefer to ask Benioff questions.
Fair enough. JD.
My question to George R. R. Martin. Hmm. Am I going to be in my mid-50s before Spring of Dream drops? Or Dream of Spring? That's my question. Am I going to be in my mid-50s when a Spring of Dream or a Dream of Spring drops? I'm getting tongue-tied, but I'm sorry. But yes, that's my question because I don't know if I want to be still reading 1,500 pages by the time I'm in my mid-50s, 20 years from now.
And
Um, that's a tough question. I'm sorry. Plus, I was laughing looking at the chat. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. It does not answer questions. So it's would be pretty frustrating to ask him a question. And I like to find them, it wouldn't be about a Song of Ice and Fire mystery. Like maybe once all of the books are done, if there's still some lingering mysteries, I would ask him. But right now, I'm thinking, oh, well, we'll figure that out in the books. So yeah, no, I don't know. And,
well, I know what I'd ask him. I'd say, George, after season 5, episode 9, in the inside the episode, D&D said that Stannis Baratheon was ambitious for the throne and was a religious zealot. I would ask George how he felt about that characterization of Stannis. That's all. I'm not criticizing. I just asked him how he would feel about that characterization. Anyway, we'll move on to the next question. And it is from AU Packmule. And he asks, we know your favorite houses and characters, but what is your favorite sigil? So, JD, what's your favorite sigil?
Oh, come on, man. That one's kind of easy. I mean, I'm the dragon. I love the dragons. I've been obsessed with dragons since I was a kid. So I'm gonna have to go with the Targaryen and the Blackfires with the sigil of the three-headed dragon.
And your favorite sigil?
my favorite sigil, it's House Toland. It's the Warm Ouroboros.
All right.
I
Nico,
think
your
I
favorite
answered
sigil?
that.
Oh,
I think there's a video that I made that is like a Game of Thrones, I mean, A Song of Ice and Fire Q&A, and I give you a lot more details about the why that's my favorite sigil. But yeah, that's I was telling the serpent eating its own tail.
Nico, your favorite sigil?
Now that Anne said that, because I don't know so much about sigils, I never researched that too much. I'll have to get into that, and I really like the Ouroboros because, come on, it's a symbol I'd like to get a tattoo of. So, especially because it has to do a lot with science. What you'll see, but it's amazing. It's amazing. Well, before learning this, I would say Stark because I like House Stark and wolves in general. But um, yeah, I cannot answer that now. Sorry, guys. No Game of Thrones questions.
Well, my favorite sigil, it shouldn't come as a shock, is a stag in the burning heart of R'hllor on a field of yellow. Shouldn't come as a surprise.
Stannis!
So we will move on. And this next one isn't a Game of Thrones questions. It is from Kyle's Fukin Chickens. And it is favorite movie of all time and why. So, Anne, you want to go first on this one?
One movie. Favorite movie of all time would have to be David Lynch, Twin Peaks.
Cool, cool. Nico, favorite movie?
There are two. There are two favorite shows and there are two favorite movies. And yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
like Fire Walk with Me, but the first one is The Fall from 2006, so not the Hitler one. The Fall made by this guy, I forgot his name now for some reason, but it's a really nice story, and the filming is beautiful, and I recommend everybody to watch that. It's such a simple story, so touching. The acting is amazing, the filming is great, and it's without almost any CGI. Um, it's so beautiful, so gorgeous that you're just, and I always cry when I watch it. The second one is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. It's maybe some people watch the play by Tom Stoppard, and it's amazing. It's the players. It's from 1990. The actors are Tim Roth and Gary Oldman, and I think everybody should watch it. It's so good, and if you watch it, you will understand why I love it. I mean, it's absurd, but that's the point of it. So yeah.
JD.
All right, you're gonna have to repeat the question.
Favorite movie and why?
Oh man, favorite movie and why? I'm gonna have to say probably the first Godfather. I love the storyline. I love how they depicted the actual gangster life, um, and how Michael Corleone took over everything. I'm gonna have to go with the original Godfather. That's my favorite movie of all time.
Ironically, JD, my answer is Godfather Part 2. It's just a great sequel. I mean, you see the rise of Michael Corleone, or not the rise, but you see him in getting weathered. You see the rise of Don Corleone as Robert De Niro, and it has the best scene when after Frito betrays him and he grabs him by the hand. He says, "I know it was you, Fredo. I know it was you, and you broke my heart." I just love Godfather Part 2. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. So yeah, we will move on to the next question. It is from the boy Wanda. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. The top 5 favorite music artists / bands. Man, I don't even know if I can think about that quick enough. But we'll go with JD.
My favorite top 5 artists and bands.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Actually, that's not that rough. I'm gonna have to go with Tech Nine as my favorite artist of all time. I like Tech Nine. I like his flow. I like what he talks about. Um, Behind that, I'm gonna have to go with Stone Sour. I love Stone Sour. I love their rhythms. I love Corey Taylor's lyrics. So, ironically, right after that's gonna have to go Slipknot as number 3. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Eminem. And number 5. That one's a little harder to tell you the truth. To tell you the truth, I'm gonna have to go with Cut Calhoun since he cut ties with Strange Music. So there's my 5.
Nico, you got a top 5?
So it's only for bands and for musicians, right?
Yeah, top 5 artists, bands.
Okay, well, my favorite band of all times is Dodheimsgard. It's a Norwegian avant-garde black metal band, and I know them personally. So it was really cool because I listened to them when I was, a teenager, and then I got to meet them, and I'm friends on Facebook with them. So, and I met them 2 times, and I ended up drinking with them the whole night. So it was a surreal experience. The second band is also one of the bands from the members. It's Vedbansende, also Scandinavian band. Stephen Sondheim, I think, is one of the greatest artists ever. People who are into musicals know who it is. What else do I like? It's a hard question because I didn't get to see the questions before. What else do I like and listen to? Maybe Tool. I like Tool. I think it's one of the bands that I always listen to, and I think I will always listen to. That's 4, and the 5th one. Oh, what do I listen to? I'm just browsing through my music now. Oh my God, I should have done this before. I don't know, maybe, well, classical music in general. I love listening to classical music all the time. That's what I listen to, black metal or classical. That's it. Thank you. And musicals. I love musicals. So
Cool. And Anne?
First, I want to let everyone know that Sir LT Gile has joined us. Maybe he's not ready to
Hello,
speak.
hello everybody. I'm actually having my dinner at College Junior. It is kind of quiet here, but as I'll be making the journey home, it might be a little loud, but I will definitely keep my mic on mute until you guys have questions for me. But I'm so happy to make it, and subscribers, you're number one. We wouldn't be here without you, and we're all happy to do this for you guys.
Okay, top 5 favorite artist or band. Same thing. I did see the questions, I mean, before, but I didn't really read them. Okay, my number one would be, it's gonna sound so 90s. I think like most of my favorite artists are from the 90s, and they're not gonna be as cool as, Jerry's answer in the previous thing. Alanis Morissette. I loved Alanis Morissette so much. I had all of her albums. Um, I really, really, so no, one that is much older than that and is probably much better. I love Simon and Garfunkel. That's why I could listen to those albums on repeat. It's gonna be tough finding 5. Um, I know I should have started thinking about my answers to that question. Okay, let's stick with 2 that comes back to me. I'll answer that later. Sorry. I don't want to hold everyone because I can't think of 5 musicians that I like.
Let's see if I can think of 5. I really love 70s soul. I love Marvin Gaye, Al Green, the Brothers Johnson. I also love reggae ska from the mid 2000s, like Westbound Train and the Agrolites. So there's 5 bands right there. I like, for the most part, I don't really like hard stuff. I like mellow stuff. That's just how I am. LT, you got 5 bands that you like?
Are these 5 bands of any genre, or it doesn't matter any time, or?
Just your favorites.
Well, I thought I heard somebody say 90s, and a band that I really love from the 90s that I think would be the greatest band of all time if Axl wasn't such a douche, and that's Guns N' Roses. I love them to death even to this day. I mean, not today, but back then. And back in the day, Led Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin's great. Nirvana, too, from the 90s. I love Nirvana. Def Leppard. I love Def Leppard. Even Poison, Van Halen. Even Eric Clapton. I love the hell out of Eric Clapton. And the Beatles. Who doesn't love the Beatles?
JD, apparently. Yeah, good answers. Good answers. And do you want to finish that out, or shall we move on? I'm not sure.
I can talk more. People want to learn more.
Sure, you can go ahead a little bit.
Of the things that I recently discovered is Perturbator. It's a guy. He's from Paris, actually. He's a kid. I don't know. He's like 20 something. And he started, like with him started all this crazy music movement now. It's dark synth wave. Like if you guys played Hotline Miami, his music was in the game. And I never listened to him before. So the first time I listened to him was live in Czech Republic last year. And I loved it so much. So I would recommend anybody to listen to his album, especially Dangerous Days. That's the most popular one and catchy. But it's really good. So yeah, his name is James Kent, actually. What else? Well, I liked some Romanian black metal band that I really, really loved before, but before they split, called Negura Bunget. And Emperor, of course, the classics of black metal. But yeah, I cannot. I love some music from movies, like from Tetsuo, music from Tetsuo, or I love Einstein, Schutz, and Bauten. The guys who listen to Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, so Big Sabargelt, that's his band I should know about, and then you should listen. It's like industrial, uh, pure industrial. So yeah, I enjoy listening to that. Of course, I love Nick Cave, and I love Bauhaus, and I love Christian Death. Yeah, a little bit of goth. So that's it. Thank you.
Cool, cool.
Could I add something real quick? Another artist that this is how you know artist is great, and this is Stevie Wonder, and this is what's so great about Stevie Wonder is because even to this day I discover new great songs from him. He's got just so many great songs, and I just discover new ones, and it's funny because I don't go looking for them. Like I said, I love Stevie Wonder. I got some of them on my iPod. I don't really buy his albums, but when I hear a song on the radio and I hear from him, I'm like, that just shows you how great he is.
I'll give you just a music genre that I really like, the blues. Fucking love the blues.
Cool, cool.
There are also a lot of bands, like bands, or it's hard to discover these things, but I was always trying to find music that is atmospherical, but it's not like, I don't know, medieval fair or some shit like that. I wanted something that sounds so ritualistic and scary, and I found it, but it took a while to find something like Herbst 9 or uh, uh, Oral Hypnox or something like I forgot now the names. I have to go through my music, but yeah, I love to listen to these kind of things. Kind of scary, especially when I'm studying.
Yeah, and I mean, me personally too. I listen to a lot of movie soundtracks that have really good music. Like Midnight Special had a really cool soundtrack. Uh, movie Locke with Tom Hardy had a really cool soundtrack. I like finding these underground movie soundtracks. Me personally, listen to them. And did you think of any more bands, or shall I
Yes,
go on to the next question?
yes, I did.
All right.
That's where I was going, and I even brought some. So I even brought for some less known ones some album cover. So I love Radiohead. I just I have that shitty memory, and you ask me to answer any question, even like my name. If I'm not prepared, I'm gonna forget my name. So Radiohead, I love Radiohead. I also have probably all of their albums. I used to really like Sia. I don't know if I pronounced her name right, but that's that person. Uh, I know it's gonna sound like fucking hipster, but I liked her before she decided to use a fucking voice coder, and like mixed with David Guetta, because that woman has the most incredible voice ever. So I have no idea why she's using a voice coder. I mean, I know it's working because no one really used to know her, and since she did Chandelier, like that exploded. But yeah, not as good as what she did before. I thought I would mention two French bands, but they sing in English, so it's more like I kind of like easy listening pop music. So I'm not like Nicolina or JD, who I like things that are easy to listen. So two bands. This one first only did that album, so the band's name is 1973, and their album is Bye Bye Cell Phone, and it's really cool. If you've listened to the Scarlett Johansson album with what's his name? Well, with a musician. Anyway, it's the same kind of vibe. Uh, Another like fun, cool, easy listening pop music band. It's called Cocoon, and like I think they have two or three albums. This one is Where the Oceans End. So both French bands, both singing in English. And then I thought I would also mention a Japanese artist that I really like. It's a little bit. I'm not really massively into J-pop. That's actually a little too poppy for me. But I really like. That's an album. If you don't read Japanese, oh, you can see my webcam.
That's an awesome cover.
Yeah, that's her name is Miwa Sasagawa. Miwa Sasagawa. I'll try to write that in the chat. And so it's a mix of J-pop, but she uses a lot of like instruments, and I think she has interesting compositions, and that it's like really worth a listen. So yeah, just YouTube those. Miwa Sasagawa. Oops, Cocoon. and 1973.
Cool, cool. And for what it's worth, if I'm listening to rock, Radiohead is my favorite rock band, and the song "Reckoner" is my favorite Radiohead song. For what it's worth. But we will move on because this next question is kind of the sort of tied in with the question we just had, which is what is your top 5 favorite movies of all time? So, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to do probably, but LT, we'll start with you because you're getting here first.
No,
What is your
no,
top
don't
5?
start me because I'm at the light and it's going to be really loud, so come back to me.
Okay, we'll go with Nico. Your 5 favorite movies.
Oh, well, I said already, the four Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Oh my God. For some reason, I really enjoy Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Um, I like,
It's so funny
but
that
it's not on my top list. But I don't know, I really enjoy watching it. So what I like is maybe, well, Naked Lunch. I love that. It's Steven Cronenberg, and the book, of course, you know who wrote it. So I love that one. I love Basquiat. It's a biography, like movie about Basquiat, and it has all the great actors in it. So I recommend if you like who Basquiat was, and I think he's my favorite painter or artist. Watch that movie. Um, so I said it's Basquiat, Naked Lunch, and the fifth one. What would I go with? Maybe Metropolis. It's Fritz Lang from 1927. It's a sci-fi movie. You should watch it, guys. And it's a cult movie. So that's it. Like from now, I don't know. Maybe I will change my mind, but that's it.
Right on. JD.
Damn. 5 favorite movies. Well, my number 1, you guys already know, Godfather. Number 2, I really can't break it into a single movie. I'm gonna have to just go with the series. Is Lord of the Rings. Number 3, I'm gonna have to go with The Godfather 2, Part 2. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Goodfellas. And number 5, I'm gonna have to go with Fight Club. I love Fight Club.
LT, can you do your list now, or are you still in a?
No, this is your 5 favorite movies ever?
Yes, yes.
Man, it's so hard, man. Okay, I'm off top of my head right now. Maybe it'll come to me, but a movie that I've watched so many times and it gives me the same effect every time at the end, and I feel like I could do anything after is Braveheart. It gets me every time at the end. That's such a great ending of a movie, and then especially at the very ending. I mean, the part where he's getting killed, and then the part, when Robert the Bruce is saying, "You have bled with William, now bleed with me." It's just such a great part. Fucking. Now, movies that like just funny and I could watch over and over again. Back to the Future. I like all 3 of them, but the first one I could watch on replay over and over again. So that's 2. Um, okay, yeah. So far, that's just 2. I mean, I'm not really. Me and James always is a man known for his list, but I'm not really a man known for my list. I have a very lot of them. Freaking Platoon is awesome. The war movie from the 80s. I love Platoon. Another funny sports movie that I could watch over and over again is Major League. I watch Major League over and over again. Coming to America, I could watch that over and over again. It's so funny. But I guess that's it for now.
For me, I personally, I don't know, maybe it says something about me, but I love movies from the 70s. I feel like those movies are very cynical towards society at that time, and I like movies where the good guy, a good person dies at the end. And those movies would be, obviously I talked about Godfather Part 2, Taxi Driver. Love Taxi Driver. I love Martin Scorsese. That's my top five. Chinatown. The ending of Chinatown is bleak. When they tell Jack Nicholson, forget it, man. It's Chinatown. Like I got chills when you hear that line. This movie isn't from the 70s, but Terry Gilliam's 1985 Brazil. If you guys have ever watched Brazil, it is a mind fuck. I love Brazil. And I guess if I had to give another one, I'll go with me personally. My favorite, Indiana Jones. I'll throw a blockbuster out there. People always want to talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark. Me personally, I love The Last Crusade. I love that movie. So those are my top five. Anne.
It's good because you guys have already named some of mine. So I know I've already named Twin Peaks because I think it was a question with your favorite movie. I was going to say The Naked Lunch, but Nico's already said it. So yeah, Brazil was one I was going to pick, but you said it, James, so that leaves me room for five more. In no particular order. Wim Wenders, Paris, Texas. The Wings of Desire is obviously like his greatest masterpiece and really, really great too. But I don't know, like there's something about the colors in that movie that I really love. Then, Emir Kusturica, maybe not his best movie, but my favorite one, A Reason I Dream. Actually, I really like movies that are almost more of a poem than a story. So like all of those movies. Why am I saying books? All of those movies are very onirical. There's a lot of dreams in it. There's another one I really like. That is Lulu on the Bridge. It was made by Paul Auster and another. I can't remember the name of the other guy who made the movie with him, but also like very onirical. This one more theatrical. Lars von Trier's Dogville. Yeah, okay, I can see Nico clapping. Amazing. That thing is amazing. So Lars von Trier's, it's really hardcore. Like it's not something you should watch if you want a happy ending. And so that's three. Then one I could not find quick enough the Blu-ray for, but it is the saddest. Oh God, now I'm forgetting the name of the movie. That's horrible. The saddest movie I've ever seen in my life. Oh, okay, because the title in French.
Director or something, I will probably.
What?
Can you describe the movie? I know stuff about movies. Is it a European movie?
No, it's an American movie. It's Sue Lost in Manhattan. That would be translation. Amos Kolek is the. I need to IMDb it, but to see the title in English.
It's not Serendipity or something like that.
I mean, like it's if I translate the title from French, it would be Sue. That's the name of the main. Sue. Ew. So yeah, the name of the director it's I think no, okay, the title in English is just Sue. And maybe not. I think I see the German jacket there. Sue, eine Frau in New York. So Amos Kolek. Well, go ahead.
Lady. How do you spell that? Frau?
Oh no! I mean that was the title in German.
Yeah, in German.
Well, how you spell the director? It's Amos. That's his first name, and his last name is Kollek. Well, anyway, that's a very beautiful movie, but that's just like the most heart-wrenching movie you'll ever watch, I think. So again, watch it if you want to cry. And then another one, my last one is actually I really like Korean movies. I think they're amazing. I think you should watch more of them. And one of my favorites Director is Kim Ki-duk. And so again, I don't know the title of that movie in English, but it's called Locataire in French. But any of his movies, they're all absolutely amazing. Like those are some of my favorite movies. So watch any movie from him.
For the record, I've watched quite a few Korean movies.
So do you like
Being
that
Korean.
guy? Do you like Kim Ki-duk?
No, well, I prefer more when I watch Korean movies. I've watched I watch more of the historical kind of like epic war dramas that they have, or I've watched Old Boy, The Host, and a bunch of other movies, but more gangster movies. That's what I watch when I watch Korean movies. But
Yeah, the French movies I watch, nobody here would probably be interested because I like the French foreign horror movies, so probably nobody here would watch them.
You know what? I heard French porn, LT. I'm sure that's not what you said.
No, French horror movies.
Okay,
Horror movies.
what French horror
Horror
movies?
There's a movie called Martyrs, right? And this is like
Oh, yeah.
it's a hardcore genre of horror, but it's like I think its Rotten Tomato score is pretty high. It's got one of the craziest endings I've ever seen in a movie. But like I said, it's hardcore horror, so it's graphic, but it's really good. And yeah, you can't. Basically, if you're gonna watch this movie, you shouldn't know nothing about it because it's like it's on the edge. It's really good.
Well,
I strongly recommend it.
just tell people that it is torture porn. So if you're
Oh,
not into that kind of
yes,
movie,
yes,
I
it
mean,
is. Uh-huh.
there's supposed to be really good backstory to it, but it is torture porn. So if
Yeah,
you
the
can't
director on the DVD, he has a before the movie starts, he talks about how he's sorry about this movie.
yeah, no, I mean, there's the thing. I mean, I think it's a good movie, but like, I could never watch that because I can't stand that even in like stupid, like American movies. I think that's really, really hardcore. So I think it's a good movie, but you have to be able to stomach the genre because that's not for
yeah,
everyone.
Which movie
me
are you
personally,
talking about?
Martha.
Oh, Martyrs. Oh, great movie.
Yeah, but that is torture porn, though.
Well, yeah, you can
Sort of, but Nico, you agree with me. The less you know about that movie, the better, because the great twist and it's a great movie, but
No, I
like
watched
Aaron
it.
said, it's not for everybody. Definitely not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, but like I prefer always to watch European movies over anything. So, and before like starting this Monsters, I watched so many movies in my life that's crazy. So when you show Dogville, I mean, it's Last von Trier. He's my favorite director, definitely, and I love his Breaking the Waves. I think that's the.
Mhm.
Although the last few that he made, Nymphomaniac, is amazing, or Antichrist. And I wanted to mention
You know what?
something.
I really did not like either one of those.
No?
I really liked Melancholia, though. I really, really like Melancholia. But no, I mean, Antichrist,
Was Melancholia that one with Kristen Dunst?
yeah.
Yes.
That's a depressive movie. That is a very depressing movie.
Well, all of his movies are really
Yeah. Dogville is maybe worse. And yeah, most, the other one's Nico cited. You see, that's my
Breaking
amnesia
the Wave.
happening again. Yeah. Yeah, that's more depressing even than Melancholia.
But people should watch at least, I think, at least some of the Dogma 95 movies. I love Festen. It's Thomas Vinterberg. Uh, but anyway, if you don't like the last one, three, you will never. If you don't like, his thing, that's it. But I wanted to mention, well, Big Lebowski, obviously, that's a cult movie, and I think it's great. Um, the last in the last few years, that is something that I watched that I blew my mind. It's The Witch, and James Burchell can agree with me. It's such a good movie, and people should know it's not a horror movie per se. It's more a drama, and maybe we shall make a video about it. James, maybe LaDonna, because LaDonna loves it as much as I do. It's such a good movie. And for Game of Thrones fans, actually, the crazy cat's sister, what's her name? Liza
Liza.
and
Liza and Dagmar Cleftjaw was in it.
actually are the main characters, the mom and dad. So it's such a great movie. And because Anne and who mentioned? Oh, James Bushell. You mentioned that you love Brazil. If you want to know that, because I said that my favorite movie of all time is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which was made by Tom Stoppard. Well, Tom Stoppard is the one who wrote Brazil. And the working title of the movie was 1984 and a half. So, yeah, you should watch Rosencrantz and Guildenstern because it was written by the same guy.
I'll check it out for sure. Yeah. Let's move on here to this one. This question is directed towards Anne, and it is from David Adams. And the question is, if you could recommend one French meal to try, what is it? And what's your favorite food to eat while you are in America? So this one is for Anne specifically.
Yes, that one's for me. Oh, that's really tough. That is a tough question because it really depends on what you like. I could say, eat cheese because we have such a huge selection and that's very, very French. But if you don't like cheese, then it's ridiculous for me to advise that. But, I don't know. Yeah, cheese. Just a big fucking like cheese platter with wine and bread. And that's cheap, that's good, but if you don't like cheese, then yeah. And American thing, that's tough. I mean, that's another tough one because, I live in Paris, so we don't really lack for any type of food. Like, there's not an American food that I couldn't really find in Paris. Uh, I used to spend quite a lot of time when I was much younger in Boston. And yeah, one thing that was really good from Boston that you can't really, I mean, I'm sure you could find it in Paris, but it's not that easy to find is the clam chowder. I really like that. So that would be my answer to the second question.
Cool. Okay, so we have a question from T Baby. What is your best and worst trait? We'll start with JD on this one.
My best and worst trait? Oh, come on.
Gotta pick something.
My best trait is probably that I'm hardworking. I like being physical. I like to work. Not a big fan of sitting behind a desk and typing on a computer. That's just not me. I'd rather be out there moving something and lifting something and doing something like that or putting something together. My worst trait, probably the fact that I don't have a lot of patience, and if pushed to a certain point, I can turn into a loose cannon. So that's probably my worst trait.
LT, best and worst trait?
I'd have to say my best trait is probably my memory. People that truly know me know that I remember stuff from like 15, 20 years ago, and they're like, wow, how do you remember that, And even like strangers that, well, not strangers, but people I don't really know. Like recently, I was walking to this Home Depot. Matter of fact, I'm standing right by it, and I saw a few employees that worked there from like 10 years ago. No, more than that, like 12 years ago. And I was talking to them, and I just brought up old stuff. And they're like, how do you remember that? My worst trait would probably be talking over people. And I'm sure you guys seen that in videos and stuff. Sometimes I want to say what's on my mind, and I overtalk, and I cut people off. But I'm sure I have worse traits than that. But that's all that's on my mind right now. So that's probably a big one for me.
Nico?
My worst trait is probably that I have a lot of prejudice towards some things. So, meaning that I don't give people a chance immediately, I just brush it off. I don't have patience in that sense. So that's not good. Meaning I can be friends with everybody, but not for real. So I don't like to get people to my circle too easily. Although the first thing you would think that I'm really cool and everything, but actually that's not true. And my best trait is I think I'm really a righteous person. Well, not just I think that people say that about me. Like, I fight for the truth, or I don't know. I don't like lies. Yeah, so that's it.
Anne?
Oh, guys, it's tough to go. Like, they have really good best traits. My worst trait is easy. I'm lazy. That's my worst trait. I am very, very lazy. And there's not really much to do to overcome being lazy because you're too lazy to work on overcoming that. My best trait, it's funny because it would be like almost the opposite of Nico's best trait. Like, I think I'm malleable. Track, like, well, you guys that know me know that I can really stand my ground. But I don't care about things that much usually, which makes me like flexible, malleable. I can forgive, like Don Willie was saying in the previous Q&A, like, oh, I never forgive anything. Like, I'm very forgiving. And yeah, I'll definitely give people a third, fourth, fifth chance. It's okay. Yeah, no, I know you're not, JD. I know you're not. Oh, you're being, yeah, no, but I am. Yeah. I mean, I know for some people it's not good, but like try to see it as a quality. Like, I think I'm yeah. I don't have very strict morals, and I know that put like that it makes me sound like a awful person, but that really helps me like accept that different people have different point of view and different standards, and that mine, are not like the best standards. Maybe they're mine, but they don't need to apply to other people.
I'll say this, and I used to be like that. And then after giving people so many chances and them screwing me over on those chances, eventually you get to the point where you don't. And that's where I stand. It has nothing to do with I'm just an asshole. It's just given the chances that I've gave people in the past and the repercussions of giving that chance, I got to the point now where it's a one-time opportunity. You screw me over, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, no, that makes total sense. It's just like, again, I say, like, we're all just the result of our life experience, and I'm very lucky in life, and people are usually, and also I'm forgetful, so I guess I forget the bad things, but people are usually just super nice to me. Like, people say, oh, Parisians are not nice. That's not true. People are fucking nice all the time. To me, at least. That's all I can vouch for.
Um, for me, I mean, my worst trait is easy. I'm a procrastinating mofo. I procrastinate with the best of them, and it's terrible. But I do it. I study the last minute. I do my projects at the last minute. I'm just procrastinate. Is just the bottom line. I think my best trait is I have I don't know, a general ability to get along with everybody, I suppose. I guess that'd be my best trait. I just get along with everybody. But yeah, so that was T's first question. We'll knock out our second question here, which is, what's your favorite childhood memory? Childhood memory. We'll start with LT on this one.
Sorry about that. The mute button was acting up. Well, I had to think, so I mean, I guess I'll just go with this one. So I'll tell you guys the story how I became a Niners fan. So this is 1988, Bengals Niners. I'm at my grandpa's house. The whole family's there. Mind you guys, I'm only like 4 or 5 years old, and I say, "Oh, those Tiger helmets are so good!" And my grandpa goes, "You're going to be in this family. You're going to be a Niners fan." Okay, that's part of it. At halftime, and this is how good my memory is. At halftime of that game, we're eating, right? And my uncle tells us this story about Vlad the Dracula Impaler, how he would take his eat out of him. And I remember that to this day, but that was a great childhood memory. Not that, but just, being watching the Super Bowl, watching the magical Joe Montana. And I remember all that, man. A lot of people, they can't remember that far at that young, but I can remember that.
JD?
What am I asking? What's my favorite childhood memory? Is that what I'm asking
Yeah.
or answering? Um, hmm. Hmm. My childhood wasn't the best, so a lot of it's blocked out. To tell you the truth, probably my best childhood memory, and as weird as this is gonna sound, I was in 5th grade, and we were playing tackle football out on the field during recess. And my best friend at the time, Brian McCormick, asked me to punch a punch a guy, a kid in the face, and I said, "All right, fuck it, I'll do it." His name was Josh, and I was covering him, and I don't remember who was playing quarterback on his team, but he threw the ball, and Josh went to catch it, and I jumped up like a Superman and just fucking pop. Now at this point in time, you got to realize I weighed probably like 60 pounds, and he weighed like 100. So when I hit him, all it did was really piss him off. And he got on top of me, and we rolled around for a long time and just beat the holy living shit out of each other. A teacher came by like 10 minutes later. I'm walking after the bell rang, and I'm walking between the main building and the side building, and I'm just walking in between it, extremely pissed off. She asked me what happened, so I told her, and I went to the principal's office, and after that, like me and Josh just sat there and joked and laughed, and ever since that day, me and him have been like brothers. He's been one of my best friends in my life. So I can say that that's probably my best childhood memory I can ever think of. Granted, it started with a horrible, horrible beginning where we just beat the holy living shit out of each other. But I couldn't have asked for a better person to have my back or be an uncle to my daughter.
Nico?
It's not like one particular moment, but the whole maybe one summer or period of my life in the childhood. I was not that young. I was, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11. I have a younger brother. He's 5 years younger than me. So it was the time when we lived in Croatia still, and I loved that school where I went to. It was the best school I attended of all the schools I've been. It was such a good school, and I don't know, I just loved, never got this feeling of true enjoyment of education in that way that I got there. It was really, I don't know, we had a lab and we had all the kinds of labs, and I was in so many groups like singing and dancing and botany groups. So I was taking care of all the flowers in the school, and it was so good, such a good school. But at around the same time, my brother was old enough to play with me, so we had this one Lego figure, because it was after the war, so we didn't have so much money, and all the toys we got was from, leftovers from our cousins from Germany. So we got one Lego guy, and we got some Pink Panther from Kinder Egg. Kinder Surprise. If I don't know, Americans don't have that, unfortunately, but it's really cool. So it was back in the day when you could actually assemble these things, with small parts. Now it's just shit. And we had some cars, so we would build up this car repair shop. So I was Pink, he was Lego. That's what his name was of the guy. So we would repair cars, we would play with that, and our repair shop was like a small stool. And so we would like wake up in the morning, and because my Pink Panther had a frying pan with eggs in it, so I would like cook meals in the morning, and then we would like repair cars. It was so good. And after that, the year after that, it was also with my brother. We would play games on like Sony PlayStation 1, or before that Sega, if you remember that. And we would play Tanks, Super Mario, and then back on Sony we played Toy Story, Spyro, and Spyro the Dragon. I loved that. I still play that. And Crash Bandicoot. So it was always with my brother, like playing games. And it was summertime, I remember, so school was not on. And my mom would freeze the fruits, so like frozen plums. And we would eat frozen plums and play these games. And it's also his best memory from childhood, like when we played Sony and Sega. So that's it.
Me personally, people don't know this about me, but I'm a bowler. I've bowled a lot. My average at my peak was around 205. When I was about 13 years old, I participated, well, from like 10 to 15, I participated in these monthly bowling tournaments in the Kansas City area called the Kansas City Open. It was for youths. They'd group you by average, and you would compete with the best, best youth in the area. I finished in first place, would win like $3,000 in scholarships every month. So I was runner-up like 6 months in a row, and then I finally broke through, won the 180 average bracket at 13 years old, took down that KC Open, and I was just happy. I was happy because especially since I used to get really pissed when I didn't win. So yeah, when I finally won, it was a great moment of my childhood. Anne.
Oh. A, I have no memory of anything in general, and B, like, yeah, the best, I didn't have the worst childhood, but I didn't have the best childhood. Like, I think, like, my happy memories are from my 20s when I was in college.
Tell us about these then. I want to hear.
Yeah, no, but that's not the question, though.
So we'll move on then. And this question was from me. It's where were you born, and where are you now, and how did you get there? So I know Anne wants to go smoke a cigarette, so we'll start with Anne.
Yeah, and I was going to be really quick. I was born on the west bank of Paris, and now I live on the right bank. I mean, not the right, on the west side of Paris, and now I live on the east side of Paris. And how did I get there? I took the subway.
Cool, cool. JD.
I was born in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Grew up in Hayden, Colorado for a while. Moved to Paonia, Colorado, and just kind of have bounced in between Hayden, Paonia, and Grand Junction for my whole life. So basically the western slope from the central up to the northern. So, yeah.
Nico.
I was born in Osijek, Croatia, and now I live in Padua, or Padua in English, they say Padua, Veneto, in Italy, currently, and I got here through Serbia, Austria, and Germany, so I lived in all these countries. And I live here because of school.
Cool.
And I want to
LT?
say that of all the countries that I lived in Europe, I want to live in Italy, especially in Padua. I think it's one of the most magical cities in the world, and people should see it. But the whole Italy in general is just such a good place to live. I cannot emphasize much how much I'm in love with Italy. So yeah, I'm gonna be working on moving here permanently.
Cool, cool. LT.
I was born on Mars. I took a shuttle here. No, I'm joking. I was born in San Francisco. We moved to Washington when I was 7, almost 8, and we lived in Washington for about 6 months, and then we moved here to Vegas. And I've been here in Vegas almost since then. But I did move to San Diego for 5 months to live with my brother, and then I came back. So most of my life has been here in Las Vegas.
Me personally, I was born in Daegu, South Korea. I was an army brat. I lived in South Korea until I was 6. Moved to the United States to many different military bases throughout the country, including D.C., Kansas, New York, upstate, and yeah, Virginia, all over the place. And then settled in Kansas City area. Live in Topeka, about 45 minutes away from Kansas City. I've been here for about 15 years now. And it was essentially military brought me here, and now my girlfriend is the reason why I'm still here. Been together for 7 years. I'm still here because of her. So yeah, we will move on to this question by IC Spots. Who is your favorite comedian? LT, I know you like a bunch of comedians. Who's your favorite comedian?
Yeah, so many. But my favorite stand-up would have would probably have to be. It, it's tough, man. It's tough. It'd have to be Dave Chappelle. I mean, he makes me laugh so hard I want to cry. His stand-up, but the back in the day, the old school stuff. Sam Kinison. Sam Kinison is probably one of the best comedians for 1 year, with his stand-up. But there's a lot of them. But those two, yeah, I could listen to them for hours.
I saw Nico. You got excited. Who's your favorite comedian?
Bill Hicks and George Carlin. But Bill Hicks, I think he was one of the greatest. And of course, George Carlin, he was one of the greatest. I do love a bit of Eddie Izzard, and I love a bit of Connolly. What's his name? The Scottish guy, Jerry Connolly. I forgot his name.
I thought you were gonna say Craig Ferguson.
Oh, I love Craig Ferguson. I loved his The Late Late Show. That's the only late show I watched because he's amazing. Oh, I forgot. So the top three are Bill Hicks, George Carlin, and Dylan Moran. Anyone who didn't check him, please check him. He's great. And if you maybe watched Black Book's show, you should watch it. It's really, really good.
Yeah, me personally, I love Bill Hicks. Died way too soon. I loved his stuff. Very good stuff. And George Carlin, of course, amazing. In terms of comics that I have seen live, because obviously, like Richard Pryor is great. I never saw him live though. But my favorite comic I saw live was Louis C.K. He's a funny motherfucker, and he was very funny live. So Louis C.K. really funny. JD, how about you?
Just comics in general?
Yeah, favorite comedians.
Alright, my favorite comedians. I like George Carlin. He's a funny motherfucker. Robin Williams, his live stage show was so freaking raunchy, but it was hilarious. I loved Robin Williams live. His movies were okay, but his live show was freaking phenomenal. Eddie Murphy was good back in the day. He was really good. Yeah, Richard Pryor was freaking phenomenal. Guy still cracks me up to this day. I'm gonna have to leave it at that.
Yeah, Robin Williams' stand-up was really good. It really was different from his movie star persona.
I was just gonna say, Bob Saget was hilarious too. Believe it or not.
May I add Jennifer Saunders and Dawn French as amazing duo. Their shows like on the side, and of course what Jennifer Saunders did is it's the TV show Absolutely Fabulous, and now the movie's out. So I think they are really good, female comedians. So we should mention them too.
Indeed. Anne, your favorite comedians?
I don't know any comedians. I hoped I was gonna come back after that question.
Well, okay. Well, we can move on. We can move on if you want.
Can I just add something? When it comes to movies, I forgot to mention the great master of movies. He's French, and probably knows him, Jean-Pierre Jeunet and Marc Caro. I don't know how you pronounce it. I really love all his movies.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of Jeunet et Caro.
The colors, and it's so good.
The colors are amazing. I would give props to the color editor, but I'm really, really not a fan of that kind of, their movies.
No, a delicacy. Well,
yeah, Delicatessen.
Yeah, my favorite of his. So good.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some grim motherfuckers making movies. Although, most of you might not think of it that way, but the main industry of French films is actually really crappy comedy. Like we don't have anything to envy to the worst Adam Sandler movies. Like we've made worse. But the only exports that guys get are like artsy intellectual movies, but we have a lot of crappy, stupid French comedies.
All right, we have a question here from Dish Murphy. The question is: married, single, have kids? So I guess we can just answer those questions real fast. LT.
LT has been single for a long time, but LT just likes to date. Currently, I'm seeing a nice young lady, but she's busy. I'm busy, But yeah, if I'm pretty much single.
LTs are hard to take, ladies. Know that.
Nico.
I am married, officially married for 4 years, I think, in August. But I've been with my husband for, it's gonna be 11 years in October. So I started dating him when I was 20, and I love him.
JD.
Single, sole custody of my daughter. No chasing. Don't have no interested. So yeah, it is what it is.
Anne?
Well, those guys probably already know. I mean, if you've watched any of my videos on my channel, married, no kids.
Me personally, me and my girlfriend are coming up on 8 years, so I mean we're essentially married. I just haven't put a ring on the finger. I get shit for that all the time. But yeah, it's happening soon. That's happening soon. So
Yay!
I don't want to hear nothing about it. It'll be happening. Yeah, no kids. But yeah.
Can I add something, James?
Sure.
Well, just to let everybody know, in the chat and everything, that I've never had no kind of women problems in my life because I've always treated women with respect. Never did like a lot of my friends and lied to women and played with women's feelings. That's why I've never had no problems with women. I always treat women good. That's what my mom taught me.
That should be a creed that everybody lives by, in my opinion.
I second that motion, LT.
So this next question is interesting. It's also from Dish Murphy. Who's your favorite person in the chat? I don't even know if we can all answer this question because I don't want to like pick. How about just like I guess we can like say your favorite person that's generally in the chats. It's hard to answer. I don't know.
I'll go first. I mean, I love everybody, but one commenter that always gives me encouraging comments and has always got my back is AU Pack Mill. So come on, stupid truck. Sorry about that, guy. A big shout out to AU Pack Mill.
Does anyone else want to answer?
Yeah, AU is fucking stealing my line, which is that he's no longer in. I mean, I don't see him anymore in the chat, but I feel obligated to say Jerry. Yes, AU. I was gonna say that. You did not need to write that in the chat. So, Jerry.
I'm not gonna answer this. Oh, sorry. Because it's just, I love all the nice people, and I think that all of you guys who stay awake to listen to us ramble about our lives, it's just amazing. And I cannot, pick one because it would be not true. I don't have a favorite person in the chat.
Right.
But I can say who's favorite person on this panel, and it's Anne, and I don't care, guys, if you hate me for it. But it's the girls,
Because I have the best lipstick collection.
Yeah, but not maybe, but Anne and I are gonna meet soon.
Yeah, for me it's hard to say, because if you're in the chat and I see you, and most of you guys are great, and I like you guys all equally, so it's hard for me to like pick a favorite person. But I will say that Ion Trone is the best on Twitter. I will go on a limb and say that Ion Trone is the best on Twitter. So, JD, you have anybody?
Not really. No, I'm gonna have to agree with Nico on this one. I love everybody in the chat. I do shit so late at night, and to get 15 to 20 people watching me at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on the eastern coast, that's freaking phenomenal. So no, I don't have anybody that's a favorite, but I will give you a second on that, James. Dude, Iron Throne is a badass when it comes to tweeting everything out with anybody that does anything live or does a video. Iron Throne is on it within seconds. So I'll give that one for
Iron
that.
Throne is definitely on it. Icy Spots, David Adams. You know, there's so many great commenters.
Indeed, indeed.
All right,
Oh
all right.
yeah, oh yeah, Thunderclap too. Thunderclap.
I gotta give a shout out. The Boy Wonder has been one of our biggest fans since this whole shit started. So I at least have to give a shout out to him. So Boy Wonder, fuck off too, but we still love you.
Oh yeah, and Boy Wonder's the Niners. Oh man, Boy Wonder's a Niners fan too.
Yeah, and soon to be
Yeah,
dead.
yeah, I mean, all you guys. We love all you guys that are watching right
Yeah.
now,
No,
and everyone that's going to watch in the future. We love
no, I
everybody.
don't think anyone really answered. Like,
Right. Well, we do have another question from Dish Murphy. And it's, have you ever broken the law or been arrested? I'll answer first. Have I broken the law? Yes, I've broken the law. Have I ever got caught for breaking the law? No. I've done a lot of bad things in my youth. I was a little crazy. Have I been arrested? I've been put in handcuffs for stealing my own car. My car was reported stolen in Michigan. They ran my plates, and it was a mistake because obviously I didn't steal my own car. Like, it was in my dad's name. They put me in handcuffs. They had like the gun on me. They were like, get the fuck on the ground. They were being kind of assholes, to be honest. And I was like, look, call my dad. They called him. And he said, no, he didn't steal his own car. And that was that. But yeah, that's the only time I've been put in handcuffs. But yeah, I've never been arrested. Ann, you want to go?
yeah, sure. Have I broken the law? I mean, like, I think everyone must have broken the law at some point. Now it depends on the level of broken. So I've never been arrested, and I've only done minor violation to the law that I'm trying to correct. Like, yeah, sometimes I try to not throw my cigarette butt in the street because that's not cool, but sometimes I forget and I do that instead of putting it in the trash. That's breaking the law. I don't think it's good that I'm doing that. I'm really trying to work on it, but that's kind of my level of breaking the law. Although I would have to say that, you know, I'm lucky enough to live in a so far very democratic country. Right now, things are heading in a way. I'm gonna keep that really quick politically speaking, because no one cares about French politics in that chat. But we're like taking a turn for the worse, and I would be willing to break the law to fight for like what I believe in.
JD?
Ah, damn it. All right. Let's see here. Where do I start? All right, 12 years old, breaking, entering, held in zip ties till my dad came and picked me up. 14 years old, I stole a car, got arrested for that one, had to do a bunch of community service at the age of 15, breaking and entering, stole about $500, got busted for that one. I was a horrible thief, by the way. 16 years old, speeding and drinking and driving, got arrested for that one, thrown in jail till my mom came and picked me up. 17 years old, I got an assault charge and an attempted murder charge and a gun held to my head by the police officer. 18 years old, I got an assault charge and arrested and put in jail for 20 days. And then at 20 years old, I got DUI, skipped on bail, skipped on the warrant, and skipped out on everything, got a warrant on my ass, and had to spend another 30 days in jail. But since then, I have not been in trouble.
Wow,
That's good. That's
JD.
good. Nico?
I was never arrested. Nor. Oh, I was searched once at the train station in Belgrade, but I don't know why, because I was with a lot of people who looked weird to policemen, but I never had problems with police or anything, because why would I? Um, did I break the law? Hell yes, of course. I mean, everybody broke the law. If you jaywalked, you broke the law. That's it, right?
Mhm.
But I don't like to jaywalk. But since I live in Italy, you should see the way they drive. They don't give a fuck. They will not stop at the pedestrian crossing unless you're a woman and you're wearing some really cool shorts. Then they will stop. If the driver is Italian male, the girls, they just don't care. Um, so, and I tried or enjoyed some illegal substances. So yes, back in the day, not now. I don't even drink alcohol anymore. So that's it then. And I loved how Anne answered. I really um, loved your answers, Anne. Um, yeah, and I don't think I will be arrested or because I don't do. But maybe you never know, right? And I always think what my father said. What kind of man is it who never sat in a jail? You have to go through that once in your lifetime. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
I did. Yeah, I forgot to bring up when I was working as a military contractor. I kept a box cutter because I was opening boxes. I was a supply technician for like tanks and stuff like that. So I kept the box cutter to open up packages and stuff. Well, I was going straight from work, flying out of Kansas City to New York City to see my mother, and I get to the metal detector and I can't, I'm digging in my pockets to get everything out, and I was like, oh shit, I have a box cutter. Next thing you know, the TSA is out there looking at me, and after I tell them I have a box cutter, and then I have to go in the back to get a thorough search, we'll just say. Yeah, that wasn't very fun. So LT, you got anything?
I've witnessed way more illegal crimes than I committed. Yeah, stuff I wouldn't elaborate on, but if I told you guys, you'd be shocked. And I'll tell you guys, one time I had a friend who skipped town, and I was put in the interrogation room, and the cops were threatening me, telling me that, they got stuff on me, and they didn't have nothing because I didn't know nothing. And then when I was 12 years old, I was arrested and also beat up by the cops, just being at the wrong place, wrong time.
All right, we should be able to knock these next two questions out pretty quick. They're from Ion Trone, and we'll just do both of them at the same time. It's what is your favorite ice cream and what is your favorite tea? So just, we can do it at the same time. And
Favorite ice cream, it would have to be like a cone with 1 scoop vanilla and 1 scoop lemon basil from that wonderful ice cream place that, of course, I can't remember the name of, but yeah, I mean, the two have to go together to make the perfect ice cream. And favorite tea, I have a bunch of favorite tea. Iron Throne and I have discussed the subject of tea a lot on Twitter. I don't know, it's tough to pick one favorite. Probably like more herbal tea. I really like Earl Grey, but I would have to go with like herbal tea, maybe something with like fresh mint and things like that. I don't like green tea. Like drink green tea makes me sick.
JD, favorite ice cream and tea?
Favorite ice cream and tea?
Yeah, we're just knocking these both at the same time.
Favorite ice cream, I have to go with just straight chocolate. I'm addicted to chocolate. I don't eat many sweets, but when I do, it is chocolate. Tea, I'm going to have to go with a lemon honey, just a basic lemon honey hot tea.
Nico?
Favorite tea? Oh, I think I would go with mint tea, cold. No sugar, no nothing, just tea. Well, I never put sugar in my tea anyway. Uh, Maybe jasmine sometimes, but mint is what I like to drink. And favorite, oh, gelato, Italians, of course, and I'm so lucky to live in Italy. The favorite and the best ice cream I had is actually from Gelateria here in Padua, Gelateria Romana, and it's pistachio. And it's always pistachio. That's my favorite flavor.
We're gonna
LT?
try that ice cream place when I come to Padova.
Chocolate chip mint, and I'm not a big tea drinker, but when I'm sick, any hot tea to help my sore throat.
Uh, for me, I'm not huge. Like, I'm one of the weird people that doesn't really like chocolate. So like when it comes to ice cream, I like I guess like raspberry sorbet or something. And tea, I like tea. I'd like to drink like English breakfast teas like Earl Grey. I like chamomile tea. I love vanilla chai tea. But yeah, those are my answers for that. Um, let's see where are we at here. Okay, this is from Tarzan Bollinger. What three foods can't you live without? So we'll start with you, LT.
I guess, I mean, I love pizza, pasta. Um, yeah, I guess pizza and pasta. I don't know a third one.
Nico?
Soup, any kind of soup. Salads and fruits. And shrimp soil, but you can put it in salads. But salads in general, and no dressings. Just a little bit of balsamico, but that's it.
JD?
What was the question?
Three foods you can't live without.
Three foods I can't live without. Um, man, beef. Period. Steaks, brisket, ribs, hamburger. I like beef. I'm a big fan of it. Wild game. There's another one for you. Um, the third one. Hmm. I, no, I can't even come up with a third one. I'm just gonna have to say I'm a big meat eater. I really like meats. So I'm gonna yeah. I can't come up with a third one.
Anne?
Yeah, it's good that Nico said we could just put all fruits and pretty much all veggies together. But yeah, so it would have to be salad, fruits, and rice. Very
For
basic
me,
food.
yeah, for me it's rice because I'm Korean. Plus, I love sushi, so I need some rice. Um, it's hard. I mean, I love cheeseburgers, but I can live without them, and I should be living without them. Um, so I'll say, I really like when it comes to eating vegetables. I really like corn, so I'll say rice, corn, and I guess romaine lettuce because I like to eat salad, and I love particularly like romaine lettuce when it comes to salad. Do you have something, LT?
No, I was just gonna say a vegetable that I really like is broccoli and cheese on it.
All right, okay. We have a question here from Jerry the Targaryen Steamboat. What other things, like TV shows, movies, book series, video games, etc., are you a huge fan of and part of the community, past or present? So we'll start with Anne.
Sorry, I was looking at your question in the chat and I. What's Jerry's question? I should be able to find it. Uh, oh,
It's
yeah, other things that I'm nothing. Actually, I've never been part of a community before. And I'm not a huge fan of things in general. That sounds horrible. But compared to most people, probably because I'm lazy, I don't get into things. I don't get very passionate about things. I get very passionate about people, but people are not a community. So,
yeah. LT?
I'm sorry, James. I heard you say TV shows past and present.
No, it's like, have you ever like been a part of another community, like like the Game of Thrones community, like with anything else, like video games? Because I like, you talk about your PlayStation thing, or
Like I mentioned that if Highlander and the social media like we do now, I would have been a part of a community for Highlander. And the same thing with Lost. Back in '04, I wasn't into the internet, so Lost probably I would have been part of that community if I could. But no, not really.
Nico?
Well, the only community that I was part of prior to this, and I still am, it was a online word game, and I think it's still going on. It's called One Up Me, and it was started actually by this actor, Jesse Eisenberg, and his cousin worked at Facebook at the time. So it was I don't know. I started playing it 6 years ago or something. So he was logging through Facebook, and the site One Up Me looked like Facebook. At the time, I did not log in for so much time. But anyway, I met so many great people that I actually met in real life. So this guy that lives in Texas, he actually came to Serbia to visit me. Then I met him in Berlin last year because he was in Czech Republic, so he just traveled to Berlin, and I was living a few hours away from Berlin at the time, so we met there. I met a guy from San Diego. We met in Munich. I met a girl. She was originally from England, but now she lives in Norway. So yeah, I met, and it's such an good online community there. I'm still like talking to them every day. I met some famous people there. Like I'm friends with a guy who actually wrote Lego the movie. So yeah, a really really nice community, and few of us stayed really really good friends. Like if you guys who have me on Facebook, so you see that some other Americans that you don't know, uh, they are commenting on my statuses. Those are all people that are from the game, and we've been friends for 5 years or something. So it's amazing. Although we don't play in the game anymore, but we stayed close. So yeah.
Right. JD?
What was the question?
Like, have you been part of any other communities, like video games, like movie, TV shows, like any other communities, like the GOT community, essentially?
No, this is pretty much it. This is all I've ever been a part of. And truthfully, even with the past, not really wanted. This is about the only community I've ever really wanted to be a part of. I mean, to take the people we have and how brilliant and how smart they are. Nah, I'm good. I enjoy this community, even the people that are in the chat.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I've been. What was it, LT?
No, that was an accident, James. Sorry.
Okay. I mean, personally, I've been a huge nerd for almost all my life. I played EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot, and World of Warcraft prior for like 14 years. One of my best friends, I've never even met in real life, but we've been gaming with each other for 15 years. I haven't really played a MMORPG in like 4 years now, but so yeah, I was part of all those communities, and I had fun doing it. But yeah. Okay, let's see here. What question are we at? From Eli Guilmet, favorite adult beverage. We'll start with Nico on this one.
Oh, Baileys or White Russian? Big Lebowski. Yeah, but I mostly drink Baileys, and if they don't have that, then martini. But depends on where you go out. So White Russian, martinis, and Baileys.
Cool. JD, favorite adult beverage.
Favorite adult beverage? Beer. Just beer. I don't like skunk beer. I'm not a fan of skunk beer or really dark beer, but a medium, like nice amber ale or a darker amber ale or a pale ale or anything, I'm game. I like beer. My Indian and Irish take a little too much effect when I drink whiskey. Tequila makes me sick. Vodka makes me, I don't remember anything. So just beer. I'm a big beer fan.
May I
LT?
just said something? Sorry, Scratch Martini. Sorry, and Anne will probably know this because she lived in Japan. But recently, like last year, no, year and a half ago, I discovered umeshu.
Oh.
Oh my god, that is so good. So fuck martini. It's a Japanese plum wine. Everybody should try that. Oh my god.
LT?
Yeah, I second JD. I just love plain old beer. Give me a Miller Lite in a can, but as far as alcohol, give me Washington Apple.
Anne?
Yeah, I mean, mine also would have to be beer. I'm sorry, that's very disappointing for a French person, but I usually prefer drinking beer to drinking wine.
Me personally, I can say that I have not been drunk since like 2006, so I'm not much of a drinker. But when I do drink, I can't drink liquor. I just drink. I like to drink good beers. I usually get like a Hoegaarden, or I like Belgian beers, or I like Sam Adams, stuff like that. Okay, let's see here from Tarzan. This is me kind of hard too. Minus Hype Watch members, each name 3 people you have met in this community you respect most. So we'll start with JD on this one.
Minus the Hive Watch members, 3 of them that I've met that I respect the most. I haven't met many outside the Hive Watch, but I respect the hell out of Tony Teflon. I met him a couple times outside of being outside of the Hive Watch and bullshit with him. I respect the hell out of him. He was actually the first person that I found on A Song of Ice and Fire when he came to doing the videos. The second one, I'm going to give it to Maester Payne. And to tell you the truth, when before me and Maester Payne ever met, we actually had a problem. I did a Sam video, and he thought I stole his idea, which I actually had no idea about his idea. We had a chance to talk it out, and I respect the hell out of him for that. And we've actually become good friends over that situation. The third one, I'm going to have to, lately I've Tarzan. I've become really good friends with Tarzan, and I respect the hell out of Tarzan, who he is and how he is. I know a lot of people can't take him for who he is and how he is, but when you get to know the guy, he's actually a really chill guy, a really good guy. So those are the 3 that I respect outside of the Hype Watch.
Nico?
Well, obviously, I don't have to say that I love all the people who are in the small council because that's a given. But outside of it, of course, it's going to be people from History of Westeros and Radio Westeros.
Cool. LT?
When you asked a question, there was some loud passengers getting off the bus. Could you re-ask the question, please?
Aside from the Hypes Watch, who are the 3 people of the A Song of Ice and Fire Game of Thrones community that you've met that you respect the most?
That I would like to meet, or?
No, that you respect the most, that you've already met.
I mean, obviously Tony, he's the first one to ever mention me in a video. Yeah, James Johnson too. Like I met them on not met them, but I'm sorry, discovered their channels. Yeah, I guess those 2. I don't know about another one. Sorry.
Anne?
I was asking Tarzan, because in the chat, like what he meant by met. Because outside of the Hype Watch, I've only met 3 people. I've met Tony, so I've met MP, and I've met Charlie in Westeros.
No, I don't think it's like met like in person. It's just like you've had interaction with them on a chat, like that. Not like you've actually met in person.
Okay. So I can't, again, like with I'm gonna take the human aspect out of things, because then it's a whole different thing. Like to know who I respect as a human being, there are a lot, but like the person whose ideas I respect the most, they're the guys you all hear me quotes all the time in my videos. So it would have to be, yeah, History of Westeros. It would have to be Wars in Politics of Ice and Fire, Brendan B. Fish, and, well, formerly part of that blog, but now on her own, Nina Friel. I love her essays; they're amazing. She does such a good job in her essays, and she's a really, really, really funny person. She said she was gonna open her YouTube channel, so I hope that happens soon. But right now, she has her Tumblr and she does Periscope once in a while, although she has not done that recently. And the third person, newer to me, but I'm just in love with whatever he writes. That's poor Quentin on Twitter or Tumblr. I don't even know his real name. And I mean, so again, like that. I've talked to Aziz, I've talked to Nina, I've talked to Jeff, but I've never talked to the last guy. So it's purely based on the essays they write.
For me, it's Tony. I've been obviously following Tony. You know, we've had a lot of interactions since I was his 200th sub, or even less now. It was like his 100th sub or something. So Tony's up there for me for sure. I respect the hell out of Brendan B. Fish. I've only really talked to him once, but in terms of like a video chat, but I've talked to him a lot on Twitter. Respect the hell out of Brendan B. Fish. And see, I'm gonna put the next one as a tie because I've really only met Charlie once, but I respect Charlie, and MP Master Payne. So those are guys I really respect.
Could I go again, James?
Yes.
Sure.
Sorry about that. Now I understand what you're saying. Okay, I never had one conversation with James. I do respect the hell out of him, but lately I've been talking to Kyle and Tarzan a lot, and MP. I've talked to MP numerous times. So there you go, Tarzan, Kyle, and MP.
Yeah, and I definitely Kyle. I respect Kyle too. I talk to Kyle a lot too.
Yeah, but then I would say like I love MP. Like I think that's the second person I started talking to in the community. The first person was Claire, and then I'm not sure. I think the second was MP, and the third was Kraken. But it could be. I think it's that way. So like, but it's more like, oh, I love MP. Like we just talk, and I love MP. I love Kyle. I love talking to. I mean, I've not known Kyle for that long, so I can't like say I'm not at that level yet. Where you know, but I love Kyle, but that's a different question than respect. That's why it's tough. That's why it's such a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, I respect a lot of people. I mean, it's hard to say. But yeah, we will move on to favorite sci-fi / fantasy book series. So we'll start, except with the caveat of except A Song of Ice and Fire. So yeah, we'll start with Nico.
Sorry, guys, I need more coffee. So I was not such a big fan of sci-fi. I don't like that at all. So not my cup of tea. Which people always assume because I study. Oh, sorry, I need to close my mouth.
Oh, sorry. Can I just add one more person that I love? I'm sorry.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, if you don't listen to that podcast, you should just. They do rereads of the books, classical from A to Z reread, but they're just the nicest fucking person ever. You know what I'm gonna say?
That was his fingers.
That was fingers. I love them. I'm gonna meet Scat at Ice and Fire Con, because yeah, I talked him into getting his tickets, and I'm really excited. Like they're the sweetest persons ever. Like someone asked me like the music I put in my New York vlogs. That was Dave Matthews Band's, and that's because Matt made me a Dave Matthews Band playlist, and they're just the sweetest human beings. And
I agree with you.
because they're not on YouTube. Some of you guys, some of you guys might not know them, so that's why I wanted to shout out. Like, listen to those guys. Go talk to them. Or even if you don't want to listen to them, just go talk to them on Twitter because they're literally the nicest fucking persons.
Yes, I agree. And good that you mentioned that because I, of course, watch all of yours, videos. Small Council Hype watch, obviously. But the outside of that, the only shows that I listen to, all the shows, are from History Westeros, Radio Westeros, and Davos's Fingers. Amazing podcast, guys. Amazing, amazing. So what was the question? Oh, the series. Oh shit.
Sci-fi or fantasy?
Um, oh, a little bit of Italian coffee. You know, every Italian family has this. So Patrick Rothfuss, Joe Abercrombie. I still haven't finished reading that because the last 2 years all I read is like physics. But Terry Pratchett, yeah, I love Terry. I prefer fantasy, and Neil Gaiman, anything Neil Gaiman. So that's it. I'm not a science fiction fan. People assume that because I study astrophysics. It's like I don't like space shit at all. Don't. It's just a job for me. So.
Right.
Star Wars, never watched that shit.
LT?
A lot of science fiction shows I like got canceled, like V, the newer one. I thought that was a great show. They canceled it. But back in the day, I liked the miniseries Taken by Steven Spielberg. I thought that was amazing. I can't think of her name, but she was a little girl back then. Did an awesome job on that. Was a question to sci-fi shows or sci-fi movies?
No, it was sci-fi and fantasy books series.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, sorry. Pass me on that one. Apologize.
All right, JD.
All right. Well, when I was a kid, Lord of the Rings was phenomenal. From The Hobbit on, that whole series was great. Recently, as funny as it was, is I had a bunch of credits building up on my Audible account because I was waiting for Winds of Winter. So I just kind of like randomly went through and read a bunch of descriptions. Now I'm a big fan of fantasy and medieval times, sorcery, anything like that. And I came across a story called A Cycle of Galand. And I didn't realize it was the second part of a series. So I listened to those two books. They were really good. So, and then it's like recommended The Cycle of Iran. So I read the details of that, and it was actually the beginning of that series. So I went back and listened to it. And to tell you the truth, man, I fell in love with that series. The two main characters, Dante Galand and Blaise, have captured me. The way they interact, the things that they've been through, to have the friendship that they have with the things that they've went through. I've become a big fan of the story. I'm actually on my second reread through it. I listened to Cycle Glenn, listened to the Cycle Ron. Now I'm going to listen to the Cycle Ron again, and then go through and listen to the Cycle Glenn. So, if you guys are interested in a very good story that has a good friendship base, basically, of two guys that have been through hell and have come back to each other, I would suggest listening to the Cycle of Iran. It's really, really good.
Me, like, I haven't read too many fantasy series. Like, I didn't read Wheel of Time or the Shannara, or whatever that is, Shannara Chronicles, whatever it's called. But me personally, I read a lot of Philip K. Dick. I love his books, his short stories like Ubik and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, Scanner Darkly, Valis, etc. So yeah, I like Philip K. Dick. So yeah, we will move on to the next question. I believe everyone gave an answer.
No, but you did not ask me.
I thought I did. Sorry.
No,
It's getting late.
I had never read any fantasy. I know James. I know what's going through my mind. Actually, when I was young, that was what I was mostly reading. Fantasy. I started with Lord of the Rings, like most people. But actually, when I was a teen, I was totally obsessed with Dune. Like totally obsessed with those books. I have not reread them. I've tried rereading the first one because at some point Jerry and I were thinking about doing a a video series about Dune, but I think we both gave up on that. And yeah, I was absolutely obsessed with Dune.
Cool. Sorry about that. Sorry.
May I ask one question to Anne? Just for Anne. What type of lipstick are you wearing now? What brand?
God, that's just hold on. I'll answer like later. I'm gonna get the lipstick. You can go to your next question, James.
All right. Where are we at? What is the strangest thing you have ever eaten? This is from Error Unknown 1. Strangest thing you have ever eaten. And we'll start with LT.
Did you say what's the strangest thing I've eaten?
Yes.
Uh, yeah, I haven't eaten any strange things. Probably crawfish, I guess.
Um, JD?
Strangest thing I've ever eaten. As weird as this sound, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this one. As far as what I'm concerned is the strangest thing I've ever eaten is sushi. I don't like sushi. I don't like the texture of sushi. So sushi is the strangest thing I've ever eaten.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. That's all I'm going to say about that is mm-mm-mm. And I think you were grabbing lipstick, right?
Yeah, but to answer first the favorite food, the weirdest food. Okay, it's tough to say what would qualify as weird, but when I lived in Japan, I tried some natto, which is basically some fermented, just like soy beans, but they start rotting and they become like really goopy, and that's something you're supposed to eat for breakfast. So that as a breakfast food is sort of creepy. But I don't know if you guys find that weird. Okay, to answer Nico's questions, the lipstick I am wearing on my lips, yes, because we all want to turn that into a makeup video. Did I grab the right one? No, I did not even grab the right one. Fuck. So it's a NARS audacious lipstick, and I'll grab the right one and bring it. Sorry.
Um, Nico, while we're waiting, go ahead and answer weirdest thing you've ever eaten.
I don't know what is weird to people, but I ate snails, of course. Some people don't like it. Um, I horse meat, obviously. And I like offal. What do you say, the offal in English? Like insides of the animals. I love it. To me, it's a delicacy, like liver or hearts of chicken or kidneys, and also of the pigs. Like I eat all of that, or pig's feet, bloody sausages. I love all of that. So, but
Mhm.
I love meat and intent like offal. I think you say that's the word in English. Brains, yeah. Tongue, but I don't like sheep and goat. That's the only thing that I don't eat at all. Rabbits, pigeons, I ate it all.
Oh,
I don't know if that's weird.
Nico, the only time I've ever liked sheep was it was cooked over a slow burning fire and charcoal. Other than that, I don't like lamb or sheep. I can't eat it. It tastes disgusting to me. But overcooked over that, it was really good.
No, I know those, like, if you take the whole animal and put it on a steak and like cook it for hours, that's a big thing in the Balkans. They do it for like every animal, and it's a big thing when you do it to sheep. Like it's a delicacy. But I don't like the smell of the meat or the cheese or milk at all. So I never eat that. Goats and sheep and well, I love like wild boars and lamb. I love that. Not lamb. Wait, I always forget that lamb is that the sheep or what?
Yeah, that's the baby.
No, I don't like that. The Bambi. What's the name in English for Bambi?
Deer.
Deer.
Venison.
I love deer. Oh, I love deer meat.
Um, for me, my girlfriend is Filipino, and her family dared me to eat this thing called balut. And what balut is like, okay, it takes like 20 days for a duck to incubate and hatch, right? So what balut is like they take the 17th day, they don't let it fully turn into a duck. And when you crack it, you got this black egg with a duck head flopping off. And yeah, and I ate it. Then the Filipinos, it's a delicacy in the Philippines, and it doesn't taste. It tastes like a kind of like a livery egg, like chicken liver as an egg is kind of what it tastes like, and I didn't eat the flappy head part. Yeah, I let them eat that. I passed on that. But yeah, that's the weirdest thing I ever ate.
Well, I mean,
And I
chicken liver as an egg sounds great, but like your description of the head, just get
yeah, it doesn't taste bad. It's just the image of the head kind of just flopping there while you're eating the egg is just kind of weird. LT messaged me and said he thought of something. So LT, go ahead.
All right, so like, back in the day, chitlins, it stinks real bad when they cook it. I do like soul food, and I can't remember what kind it was, but my stepdad had made it, and I ate it, and it just didn't go well with my stomach. And then I remembered a long time ago too to cover grasshopper. That's a weird food. I forgot about that.
All right, and I think we all answered, right? Sorry, it's getting late. I'm getting kind of
Yeah. Do you want me?
Yeah, can I just said people are like, oh, horse meat. Yeah, like Italians eat a lot of horse meat. You can buy it anywhere.
To me, that's not weird. Like what you said, Nico,
Yeah.
is not weird food to me either. Like we
Yeah,
have a
to
lot of
me
that
it's
in
not
French
either.
food.
Yeah.
I don't see horse meat as weird, but you got to realize like when it comes to America, people see horses more as a pet than they do a food. So that's where a lot of people are like, eh. But given the chance, yeah, I'd try it. I think it would be freaking good. I think
Oh
it'd be.
yes, it's good actually. Well, it's different, and people have this like the Italian food is just pasta. It's not it, it's everything else. They're really good at cooking stuff or making it, but it's not just pasta.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, I
Italian
love
food.
eating rabbit, and that's a pet for most people. But
Yeah.
that's I found the lipstick. Because, yes, I know you in the live chat. You're so happy that I brought the lipstick. So, again, it is still NARS, still audacious lipstick. That's why it looks exactly like the other fucking one. So that one is called Audrey, and it is, the camera really does not look the same way in front of me or on camera. I don't know. I mean, anyway, it's a dusty pink color.
It's gorgeous. It's
And
gorgeous.
yeah, see, I have all those because yeah, I love
Oh
a bit
my
of it.
God, we need to do that video. Oh,
Yeah, I had a chat with Nico, and that made me realize I had 30 lipsticks, and that is absolutely insane, and I hate myself for that. So you have no idea.
you should
all
not.
right. Let's see. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Nico. We're gonna say.
No, I said you should not hate yourself for it. It's amazing.
I don't. The thing is, like, I don't like to consume things. I don't like to be into that consumerist society too much. I just like to have. I like beautiful things, but I just like to have the things I use, and no one can use 30 lipsticks. So, like,
Yes, you
that's
can. Each
they'll
day of the month. Come on.
yeah, but they'll go bad before you get to the end of them. So I think like 2 lipsticks should be plenty. That should be enough. That's I don't mind having 2 luxury lipsticks, but I should just have 2 lipsticks. So that makes me mad that I just get into that consumerism cycle where I'm like, oh, pretty, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, look at the pretty colors. Oh, the color is so pretty. It's gonna make me, and I know I do that, but I don't condone that. So I really don't like. I'm not gonna blame anyone else doing that, but I'm gonna blame myself for doing that because that goes against my belief. Sorry, that was a rant.
No, you put it really well. I understand what you're saying, and you're totally right.
All right. Let's see. We got
Okay,
7 more
do you
questions
want help
left.
with the questions? If you're falling asleep a little bit, I can.
No, I got it. I got it. We got
Okay.
7 more left. We can knock it out. Eli Wilmette, what is the craziest dream you've ever had? I can answer this one because I remember it vividly. It was from like 2 months ago, and I had a dream where I fell off a cliff. And what made this dream stand out so much, and the reason why I remember it so much, is because I felt the impact. Like when I woke up and I like felt it real quick, like a split second, I felt the impact, and like I couldn't move for like 2 seconds. Like my body was paralyzed when I was trying to wake up. So that dream really, I remember that one. It was quite impactful. LT, I know you got your dream journal. I'm sure you've had some crazy dreams you remember.
I would probably never talk about this dream on my dream journal, but it wasn't crazy. Well, it was crazy. Hold on, let me go to somebody else. There's a plane over.
All right, JD.
What weirdest drink?
Dream. Weirdest dream.
Weirdest dream. Man, I've had a lot of those. Probably the weirdest dream was and I was a kid. Like I think I was like 9 or 10. We had a 180-pound Rottweiler, and the weirdest dream I had was getting chased by a pack of Rottweilers, and my dog was at the lead of it, and she ended up killing me. I watched myself die the whole 9 yards. But yeah, that's probably the weirdest dream I ever had.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready because the stupid plane is gone. Well, anyways, this dream doesn't bring me happiness. It was like really sad. I was at my wake, and people were talking bad about me and saying how happy they were I was dead. And then just hearing people who I thought were my friends saying, "Man, I'm glad he's gone" and stuff. And I actually woke up really sad, and I would never talk about that in my dream journal because it was very sad.
It is. It's horrible, LT.
And
I don't really remember my dreams. I'm like, again, no memory, and I'm the opposite of LT. Like, I don't remember my dreams, and my dreams are fucking basic. So, like, I don't have any good story. I pretty much always have the same kind of dreams, and yeah, nothing interesting.
Nico.
Hmm. I don't like to dream because it's usually some nightmares because of if I'm under stress. So my nightmare, the worst one, is when I dream about my husband leaving me or cheating on me or something. That's and you cannot shake it off hours after that. So it's just terrible. But the best dream that I had in my life was that I was eating a cloud. And I cannot describe it in words, but it was so good. And it wasn't like tasty or anything, but this feeling was just complete bliss. I don't know.
All right. Cool. Uh, this one's from Jamie Sneed. Who was your childhood idol? Anne, who was your childhood idol?
Why don't I like to go first? Childhood idol. No, it would have to be someone from a book. But again, then it's not really childhood. Yeah, it would probably not be a real person, which I don't know if that makes me a horrible person, but like I always liked in what will make me not like a book or a TV show, it's weak characters. Not weak, like I know it's very stupid, but like Sansa, Game of Thrones kind of weak. Like whiny characters. And Sansa is by far not the worst. There are some 19th century books that are just you've probably, I mean, you might have heard of Madame Bovary, which is just like, yes, that middle class little bourgeoisie in a little town, and she's just bored, and she's whiny about being bored, and so she does some stupid shit because she's whiny about being bored. And there's a whole pan of 19th century French literature that's around that kind of people, and I could never really read Madame Bovary because I just like those people make me cringe. And so like, but like what I would like would be so the opposite, like really strong, not physically strong, but like very like morally, not morally strong. I don't even know what word to use, but like people who really knew what they wanted, very passionate people in books. So usually they're pretty tragic characters, but I was always attracted to like very passionate people in books. That's the best answer I can give. I'm sorry, guys. It's 8:34 a.m. and I have not slept it last night.
JD.
Repeat question.
Childhood hero. or idol, childhood idol.
Childhood idol. Um, People are probably gonna laugh at this one. I'm gonna have to go with Raphael from Ninja Turtles, just because of my attitude and how I was as a kid. I could relate to how Raphael acted and how he went at things, because I did the same thing. So yeah, Raphael from the Ninja Turtles was my childhood idol.
Nico?
I was never into that, like, maybe like some characters, just like Anne described, but it was always characters from the books or from the movies that I like, and it was always girls that are getting shit done. Like, I don't know, something like Arya, or I don't know. And when I was a kid, I liked these books. When I was really, really young. What's it called? Five Friends or something. What is the series? Everybody read that, right?
Yeah.
And I love this whole company of friendship, like true friendship. But I don't have idols. I might have people who who I respect, but I was never trying to identify myself, or I don't know. It was always respecting but not feel that for myself, you cannot compare yourself to anyone in that sense. That's what I think. You may like somebody's, trying to get there. So maybe that's an idol. Maybe I'm just, full of shit, right? If you want to improve yourself in a way, compare yourself to some other person, fictitious or not, and try to get to that stage. Maybe that's an idol. So yeah, some type of, but it's always girls that are really cool. Obviously, I don't know. But as a grown up, maybe Richard Feynman. I don't know. I think he was one of the greatest minds ever lived. And everybody should watch his interviews. And JD, yeah, Raffaello, yeah, the Ninja Turtles. He was the purple one, right?
Red one. Red one.
No, red one is really? No,
No, red one
Donatello.
is Raphael.
The purple one with Donatello.
Donatello was the scientist.
Donatello, yeah.
Raphael was the one with the attitude that always went out and got in fights.
Cool, cool. Yeah, yeah. I should mention that I loved artists like painters, because we're talking about Donatello and Raffaello now, Michelangelo. So yeah, I loved reading about their lives, and because I was into art when I was a kid, so those were the people who I admired. So something like that. I don't know. And I should go see
LT?
Donatello's. They have it in Padua now. I think no, it's Caravaggio now. I'm not sure, but I have to see there's a exhibition now in Padua.
LT?
Rick Grimes is my childhood hero. No, I'm just playing. All right, so could it be two, James?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, so one was Bret the Hitman Hart. I always want to be like Bret. I love the way he handled himself in the ring. He was well spoken, and I remember being a kid going to his matches just excited, and it made me really happy as a kid. Now, another childhood hero of mine that I idolized was Jerry Rice, and with your heroes and people you look up to, when they cry, you cry. And in the 1992 NFC title game, we were winning that game, and they called back like 3 touchdown passes that Jerry Rice got. And I remember seeing him on the sidelines crying, and I started crying. And yeah, those are two of my childhood heroes.
Yeah, I mean, I got two answers. I guess I'm going with the schmaltzy answer. It's my father, who raised me and my brother from a young age as a single father, working 50 hours a week as in the military. So I respect the hell out of my dad, and of course Barry Sanders, because he never talked, and whenever he scored a touchdown, he would just respectfully hand the ball back to the referee without making a big deal about it. So Barry Sanders and my dad for me. Yeah.
That's so nice, James.
Yes, I respect my
James,
dad.
not
you
for the
left
sports
out
person,
Draymond
but for your
Green.
dad. Sorry.
All right. Let's see. Lav. Question from Lav. Favorite musical. I'm gonna go quickly and say I don't watch musicals, so I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna watch. It's just me. I'm not a big fan of musicals, so I will respectfully not answer the question. It looks like Nico is being very adulent about musicals, so I'll let her answer first.
James Purcell, you're dead to me. Just kidding. Company. I love Company, a musical. That's my favorite, and I always sing to it. I always play it. Second best, maybe My Fair Lady. I love My Fair Lady.
Anne, you like some musicals?
I'm not a big fan of musicals, but Starmania is my favorite musical.
Which one? I didn't hear, sorry.
Starmania. Okay, that's the French musical, but again, if you're not too young in the chat, you might remember a song from Cyndi Lauper called "The World Is Stone." Stone. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna sing and I can't sing. Stone, the world is stone. Na 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 na. Do you guys know that song? Remember that song?
I don't.
No?
But if I had
No, no
if I
one
had a
told you
lighter,
that? No, really? Okay. Tarzan just said he has a weakness for Hispanic women, but that does not answer the question. And yeah, I'm sorry, Tarzan. I'm not trying to make fun of you. It was just the last comment on the chat. Um, so okay, that's so many of those songs are like classic. It was I think written in the 70s. It's sort of like ah, anti, I don't know. I mean, like I guess most musical, people want to I mean, it's different people want to break free of the system, and it's called Star Mania. So it's about like, people uh and TV's influence on people and people wanting to break that and break the image people have of them. And so like there were a ton of hits from that musical, but yeah, so the most famous one uh, was the one that was translated in English for "The World Is Stone" by Cyndi Lauper, which in French is "Le Monde est stone." So we still have the word "stone" in it.
Well, you know what they say, that only gay guys love musicals.
Yeah, I'm a gay guy inside.
Oh yeah, I know.
well, let's see if JD likes musicals. No musicals? LT
No?
musicals?
Does Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory count?
I like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, so we can both give that
No,
as
but
our
I mean,
answers.
does that count as a musical?
It has some songs in it.
Yeah.
I say I don't think that counts as a musical, but I'll third that motion with James and LT.
There we go.
I remember this. You all mentioned you love Robbie Williams. So there's a movie. Did you watch Birdcage with him? Everybody watched it. So his boyfriend or husband, I don't know what he was. I think it was a boyfriend in that movie. I think it's from that movie. So
Is that a remake of the French movie?
yeah.
La Cage aux Folles?
Yeah. That's a remake. I think that it's a quote from that movie. It's so funny. His boyfriend says, I don't know, they meet her parents, and he says, I played Eliza in a school play. So Eliza Doolittle. It was so funny, and I always like use it in conversation. But
All right.
everybody should watch Company the musical. There's on YouTube you can watch it, the revival from 2006, and especially people who are married should watch it because it's so funny and the performance is really really good. Um, Stephen Sondheim, he's a god.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not as cool, but everybody should Google, YouTube Starmania to see the songs and just listen to them because they're really, really fucking cool.
Yeah, Jerry just brought up in the chat, and I should have thought about it. My answer is Little Shop of Horrors. I watched the shit out of the movie as a kid. It is definitely a musical. Little Shop of Horrors. So that's my answers.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, that would work too.
I know it's a cult classic. I'm not a huge fan of that movie. That's just me personally. But I know that it's a cult classic and a lot of people like it. But okay, so this one's from Jamie Sneed. Most satisfying guitar solo. Most satisfying guitar solo. So LT, we'll start with you.
Has to be November Rain by Guns N' Roses.
Anne, do you have an answer?
No, no. I feel like shocking lack of knowledge.
JD?
Favorite guitar solo? You know, Jamie, you're killing me, man, because I like rock and I love metal, and to pick out a one single guitar solo, unfortunately, I can't do it because it's just too tough. I love metal and I love rock, so I can't pick out one guitar solo that I love so much.
I think Jerry is asking us, because Jerry, why are you not on that chat with us? But I think Jerry is asking us questions just because he has cool answers to those questions.
Yeah, Jerry, so rude.
Well, this was actually by Jamie Sneed.
Oh,
Jerry wasn't
sorry. Sorry, Jamie. Sorry.
Me personally, I'm going to answer two guitar solos that popped out to mind for me. Hotel California by the Eagles, the end of Hotel California, and Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd. Those are my two favorite guitar solos, I will say. I believe we covered everybody here on that question.
No, I did not answer.
Okay, my bad.
So
Nico.
I want to emphasize that I hate these shit like Crossroads, and I know it's good, but I personally don't like this like heavy metal shit or power metal. I don't like this at all. But I do love. Well, it's not heavy or anything. The first thing that comes to my mind is this really cool sequence from song Harvest from Swedish band Opeth. I love that. And it's on acoustic guitar. So it's really, really nice.
Indeed. I've listened to Opeth before. When I was really into prog rock, I listened to a lot of Opeth.
Really? Oh,
Yes,
they're
I've listened.
amazing. They're amazing. I didn't know you liked them. Oh, cool. That's so cool.
The more, see, this is the Q&A, the more we know.
A musical that I liked was Sweeney Todd.
I have not
What?
seen Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney, of course. Stephen Sondheim again.
All right. Okay, this one's from Jerry, the Targaryen Steamboat. It's an interesting question, I suppose. Let's see. Can one be righteous yet cheer and support true evil like Hitler or Ramsay Bolton or Draymond Green? So I don't really completely understand the question.
Yeah.
But
Terry, can you clarify the question, please?
in the meantime, we will move on to the next question from Jamie Sneed. Favorite 80s video game? So I don't know if everyone will be able to answer this, but favorite 80s video game. We'll start with Mr. Nostalgia himself, LT.
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon.
Oh, sorry about that. Double Dragon 2.
Was that not early 90s? Or was that late 80s?
No, that's about 80, 88 probably.
I thought those were
89.
both 90s.
I know Double Dragon was
Well,
like 87.
Double Dragon 3 came out in 1990, but Double Dragon 2 was like 88, 89.
Oh, okay.
All right, JD.
Dude, I was like 4 and 5 during the 90s. I can't give you an answer on that shit.
Shut up, JD.
Sorry.
It's funny, like no one asks us this
I was born.
question, like how old we are.
I was born in '84. And to give you something at the age of 4 and 5, I can't do it. I couldn't tell you. Sorry.
Well, I was born in 87. so I have even less time in the 80s. But I mean, I'll say, I have played games from the 80s afterwards. I love Paperboy, Contra, um, Duck Hunt, one of those three, I suppose. Nico.
Is Super Mario from the 80s? I'm just checking. Yes, first release 85 when I was born. Of course, I did not play it in the 80s. Obviously, I played it in the 90s, but I would say Super Mario. By the way, guys, so sorry, helicopter. Can you hear it?
A little bit, but it was fine.
Come on. I live in Italy, as everybody knows that, and near where I go to school, where is La Specola, it's the observatory in Padua. Galileo worked there, by the way. And there's this guy that I see. I think he is a postman or a plumber, but I think he's a plumber. He looks exactly like Luigi, Super Mario. And I wanted to take picture of him, but it's rude. He wears this this suit like overalls, and he has the mustache. He is exactly like him, and my friend also saw him, so we always talk about him. Did you see Luigi today? It's so good. Oh, so yeah, Super Mario definitely.
And Anne.
I did not own a video game system before the Game Boy. So that's definitely in the 90s. Like, I did not own any video game system in the 80s. So can I answer with something from the 90s, or is that gonna be like really, really wrong?
If we're in the 90s, I got a shit ton of answers for the 90s.
Okay, so my answer is none. Because I've never played a game from the 80s, because I did not indulge in retro gaming.
Do tanks also, were they released in the 80s? You know those 2D tanks? Because they look like from the 80s. If they are, then that's also one of my favorites because I played it with my brother all the time.
Right on. So I guess what Jerry was asking is, can you be righteous yet support evil? I don't know if anyone wants to answer that.
That's exactly the same question, Jerry. You did not explain your question because you did not clarify what you meant by righteous. I mean, I'm sure, probably in a way I could not really think of because, like, I'm not sure I understand the question. Yes, what's so hard to understand? I don't know. I'm stupid, Jerry. That's just hard to understand from my small brain. The question might not be hard. I might just be stupid. Like, stoop to my level
You're
and
not
clarify your
stupid.
question, please. Oh,
Jeez.
oh no, but
Jeez.
I'm entering Jerry. I'm just
I'm
just gonna
going to
say
tell Jerry
I'll
this. Jerry, no, you cannot be righteous if you're supporting those guys.
I don't
that's
know.
what
It's
I
a
was gonna answer that as well. I mean,
very complicated question. There was one. What was I reading? When was I reading that? God, I was trying to read something about good and evil, and there was. Oh yeah, I was reading something about existentialism, and one of the authors talking about that, and the very interesting question of you are currently taking care of your lonely, sick mother. At the same time, your country starts a war. What is like what is there, can you then make a righteous choice, go to war for your country or support your mother? And the other was explaining that in that case, as soon as you have a moral quandrum, you cannot make a moral choice because there'll always be some part of immorality in whatever choice you make. So I don't think you can ever really be righteous no matter what you're doing. I don't think you can be philosophically purely righteous. Can you be peanut butter and not jelly?
oh, we can have that conversation when I haven't been almost up for 24 hours.
Yes.
So
Wait,
we will look.
Does Nico or LT have an answer for that?
Yeah, do you guys have an answer? No.
My answer is Jerry, take your ass to sleep. You said that you had to get up earlier morning. Go to bed.
No. Yeah, for the record, Jerry was supposed to be in that video and not poor James, who usually likes to go to sleep early and get up early. But yeah, Jerry switched because he couldn't be in the video, but now Jerry's asking us tricky questions in the chat.
Oh shit! All right, let's move on. Let's move on. We're almost done. Oh yeah, we only got 2 questions left. Okay, Jamie Sneed, name a book you loved, but the movie sucked.
I can go first on that one.
Sure.
Yeah. Just one example, because there were a ton of them, more than the opposite. Henry James' Portrait of a Lady. Amazing book. The movie, and it was Jane Campion, was not, it had a good actor, a good director, but the movie just sucked. And the book was so great.
JD, you got one?
All right, I got an answer for you. Here's my answer. Which book has ever been presented worth a shit when it comes to being on a movie? It really hasn't happened because you miss a lot of the good details. So I don't think the question is, it's too hard to figure out because most books that are taken to the TV screen or the movie screen you miss out on a lot. So there's my answer.
Well, I mean, it has happened, like Jaws, for instance. Jaws was better than the book. But yeah, Nico, you have any?
Yeah, there are too many, but I cannot think of, like, I can say positive thing. I think that most of the movies that were done based on Terry Pratchett books, especially Going Postal, is just amazing, or Hogfather, so everybody should watch that, especially if you like Charles Dance and other guys from, Dolores Said is in Going Postal too. A lot of course, Game of Thrones actors. What else did I want to? I don't know really. Like, Naked Lunch was good. Clockwork Orange is good. So, I don't know if there were that many. I don't get to get pissed off. I cannot remember now, like the bad ones.
LT?
Very tough question. I'll just take a pass on it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say, but okay, I'll say I didn't like. Obviously, I don't love the book, but I can tell you that it's a children's book. It's called Cat in the Hat, and then they made a movie with Mike Myers. I had to watch because I was babysitting, and that movie made me want to strangle somebody. And it was just a terrible movie. I mean, I know the book isn't great. It's Cat in the Hat. But yeah, that movie was just terrible. Yeah. So we have 2 more questions. One left from the Q&A, and then I believe Nico has a question that she had from her Facebook. So we have here from Jamie Sneed, Westeros Liberty. Do any of you play any musical instruments? So it should be pretty quick on this, I imagine. LT.
I'm sorry, James. I couldn't hear the question.
Do you play any musical instruments?
No.
Nico, play musical instruments?
No, I played some when you had to for school, but I'm not good with playing instruments. Especially like for guitars or anything, I'm left-handed, so everything is complicated. I'd love to sing better. Like, that's one of my wishes in life. If I would have money, I would pay some singing classes, just because I love singing in general. And yeah, no, I was never into, I want to play an instrument. Never. That kind of art never interested me.
JD? No instruments? Anne?
No instruments. I took 6 lessons of ukulele, but yeah, I wouldn't say I play ukulele.
It's been a good, I mean, been a good 7 years. First time I was in college. I mean, throughout middle school, high school, and college, I played trumpet, trombone, and tuba. Was the first chair tuba player. I was proud of that accomplishment. But it's been a long time since I picked up those instruments. I might be able to vaguely be able to still play, but not nearly as good as I used to. And very amateurly, I can play some guitar, but not very good. Not very good at all. All right, so that leaves us with Nico. The question that Nico got from her Facebook. She can go ahead and read it.
Yes, I will. Just one more thing I want to say. Do you know what's the funniest thing of all the instruments? But not just the instrument, the guy who plays it. You know, like when you're watching a concert, but the classical music, and there's the whole symphonic orchestra there. And there's this one guy who's just standing there, and you know, like every 5 minutes he just goes. I would be that guy. It was so good. So yeah, the question comes from. Oh, just let me find it. Sorry, guys. On from my Tina Foil channel, and it was a really good question. We thought as a closing question, it was asked by Come On Internet. It was asked by Apu Pecnul, if I remember correctly. Come on, Internet, what is going on? Oh, Italia. Pizza di merda. So Ayu Pecmule asked, will you continue doing YouTube videos after Game of Thrones is finished? So basically, what are our plans for our channels? James?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be doing weekly. I try to do weekly Game of Thrones or Song of Ice and Fire videos, and then of course, you know, the Hypes Watch. We'll just keep an eye out because we're going to be having a bunch of projects coming out. You know, we're talking about reviewing maybe some different shows. We're reviewing the night of right now. Just keep your eyes peeled for the Hypes Watch because we got things coming out every weekend.
Sorry, should I go? Okay, I can go because I'm unmuted.
Sorry, I forgot that I should lead the questions. Yes, and please go ahead.
Don't worry. Well, on my channel, it's not really going to change anything because I don't make videos about Game of Thrones. I don't even make videos. Yes, I know you can be mad at me. So yes, I'll continue not really making videos because, yeah, I just like to talk about things and then I forget to edit it, or then I think, oh, but what you talked about was stupid, and so it stays on my phone or on my camera. But yes, I definitely will. And James, can I elaborate a little bit on the wonderful things that are coming for the HouseWatch channel?
Yes, please, then.
Go for it.
Okay. So everything, has not been planned yet. So we can't give you dates for the new thing, but yes, as James said, we're starting to venture a little bit beyond the wall, and we're making starting to make some TV show reviews, movie reviews, things like that. Right now we started the night of. It's supposed to be every Monday night at 10 p.m., but actually the next one is going to be tonight. Yeah, I guess technically tonight because we're Sunday. It's going to be Sunday at. No, it's not. Correct me.
No, it is. It's supposed to be Sunday night. I was just saying fuck because I was like, oh, man, I got to do that tomorrow.
Oh, sorry. What time is that supposed to be, James? Because
It's going to be like right after the show, so it should be. I'd have to look. I think it's either going to be 10 or 11 Eastern, whatever I don't remember exactly when the show comes on.
yeah. So I'm gonna be a part of that series. I was supposed to start this week, but I can't do Sunday nights, so I'll start next week, I guess. And so with that already started, but more to come. Um, I'm sorry, I'm so tired and I'm rambling, and I know you guys need to answer the question too. So what do we have planned? We're very book centered, so we'll continue you know, for the books, we have many years to still talk about them until they come and arrive. You know, like we have big plans for when Winds of Winter come, but we don't know when that's going to be. So new series that we have planned. Oh, first, okay, next week. I'm sorry, you see, I'm totally rambling and losing my mind. Next week, next Saturday, um, our chapter reread, Varamir 16th point of view, a Dance with Dragon prologue, with James of Thrones and Ideas of Ice and Fire as guests. Then the next day, we're gonna do a reread of the first book in the Dunk and Egg series, so the Edge Knight. And James, do you know if our guest has confirmed or not?
For what?
A Dunk and Egg. Do you know if our guest has
I
confirmed?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so I'm not announcing the guest because I don't want to announce a guest and then be wrong. That would suck. But at least we're doing on Sunday the Dunk and Egg reread. And then new things that should happen in August. We're trying to schedule that for August. First thing, that's not going to be a series, but after the latest Clash of Queens, you guys in the chat were really disagreeing with us on the old Targaryen versus Blackfire debate. So we figured that we should do a whole round table just dedicated to that. So Blackfire round table happening hopefully sometime in August. And then new video series. Again, like one thing that I hope we can start in August, something about the different cultures of Westeros. Something that will not be a live video because I think this one would be better. Like we want to edit it and add pictures and maps and things like that. But the first one will be about the Dothrakis, everything Dothraki. Yeah, and sorry, I'm still rambling. And then lastly, that I really don't think we can get started in August. But I mean, maybe we can. That would be great. But otherwise, in September, we are starting a brand new theory show called if I'm correct, called Theory Feuds. So I know you guys like theories, but we don't want to just, you know, redo theory videos that you already know the night of. So we're gonna have two teams competing one against each other against the other to prove which theory is the best. And you guys will be the judge of which theory you like the best. Sorry, I'm done. I'm done rambling. I'm very sorry. That was terribly long.
James Bushell, moderate, god damn it.
James Bushell is
Okay, I'm moderating now. JD, what do you got coming up, buddy?
If I can get my computer to go off mute. I want to dap into that, you know, A Song of Ice and Fire. I've reached out to a couple people, including the Hives watching, or Cycle of Iran, and I've reached out to a couple people with that. Past that, I do want to continue doing the Marvel series on Netflix when it comes to the Defenders. I think that would be a great one to do. Other than that, I don't know. Maybe another book will catch my ear, and I'll do a breakdown of that. I don't know. We'll see. You never know. Oh, Rogue Watchers. That shit ain't going nowhere with me and Don Lee. That's going to be around forever. As long as he's willing to do it, I'm willing to do it. So just keep your eye out. You never know when we're going to pop up. I'm trying to work with him. Our schedules are a little conflicted right now. So as soon as we get that all figured out, Rogue Watchers will be back.
And LT, what you got going on, buddy?
You could always look for Storytime LT's Dream Journal. But I do hope that, like last year, me, James, Don, Willie, and Jerry do our Walking Dead because I saw the new trailer and I'm really excited about it. So I hope we make that happen. I guess it's up to James and everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll get together with some Walking Dead stuff when it comes to time. But guys, we are done with our Q&A.
No,
We
I'm
appreciate.
not done yet.
Oh, sorry, Nico.
James,
I
so
apologize.
rude. So rude.
I apologize. We're not done yet. Nico's got to say something.
Yeah, yes, I will do videos, but I was thinking of making another channel because not just Game of Thrones, because I'm so sick. Well, I should say I'm so sick of it at this moment. Not now, but like during the season and at the end of the season, it was really hard for me to have I had to have an opinion every fucking week about everything. So it kind of ruins it for you when, like I have to be ready. Even though I have a lot of shit going on in my real life, I have to watch the show 3 times to see everything and to have an opinion that people was like, oh, why did you like it? So it was just, I wanted to stop. But now it's better because there's no show anymore. I enjoy doing videos with all of you guys. I really do. But don't have time for, because of the school. So I hope everybody understands that. Once I'm done with this fucking thing, oh, sorry, I'm cursing so much, but it's 2 years of intense studying. It's just crazy. So my plan is to just make videos about makeup and skincare and clothes and stuff in general, or even books I love that are not the Song of Ice and Fire, because to be honest, Song of Ice and Fire is not the best book I read, definitely. I just love it and I love the community, but talking about life in general, just like Anne's videos are great. It's just vlogging and it's fun, So I plan to do that, and I think I'm gonna do really soon. I'm gonna do a lipstick video with Anne. So it's just for the girls, or maybe some guys love that. But yeah, that's my plan. So James, close it. Thank you.
I'll tell my girlfriend to subscribe because she loves makeup videos and all that stuff. So I'll tell my girlfriend to subscribe.
Before you close, James. Oh, sorry. Before you close, can I say one last thing? All right, just like I said when I got on here, thank you guys. The subscribers are #1, and we want to be here having a Q&A for weather for you guys. We appreciate you, and I appreciate you, and thank you from the bottom of our hearts and my heart.
And yeah, guys, we appreciate you guys coming out watching our Q&A. I apologize for the slightly sloppy moderating at the end. I've been up for about 22 hours now. I'm getting a little hazy here. But yeah, guys, we hope you just keep an eye out. Like we said, you'll see us in the future, and we hope to see you the next time. Until then, adios.